Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt. Thank you for joining us for Session 1 of Provokers Bleakwrath, our second Provokers campaign. I am joined by four of the finest role players I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. I'm going to toss it over to them to give some brief introductions, and then we're just going to jump right into this thing and get Provokers Bleakwrath started. So from my left to right, let's go with Barker.
Hello, everybody. My name is Barker, and I am playing Holly Rast. She is just a badass girl with a crossbow, and I'm really, really excited to play her. She is the not biological daughter of my last character, but 20 years later. And just really excited. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you're interested in her character sheet, it's on my Be a Better Game Master Facebook page. I just scanned it and put it up there, so... thanks for watching, and thanks again, Matt, for running this game. I love this game, and I cannot wait to play with you, Mike. This is going to be awesome.
Absolutely, man. Great to have you again. All right, Mike, go ahead with your intro.
Hi, I'm Mike, and this is so surreal. I am here when I'm not going to make this too long, I promise, but when I first started getting into tabletop role-playing games, one of the first campaigns I saw this thing called the Provokers. Like Brook is burning. I'm like, man, what's this? I'll have a look at this. And 17 sessions later, I was hooked. I was such a fan. I loved everything about it. I learned everything about role-playing, about like how to just get into your character and really feel your character. And now I'm here. It's not just front row, but I'm here playing, and basically this, like a whole lot of this. It's
Dude,
just,
Mike, I know I speak for everybody when I say that we're happy to have you here, and I've played in some of your games, and I've role played with you before, dude. This is going to be fantastic, man. This is going to be awesome.
Thanks. And like I said, anyway, I'm just really happy to be here, and I am playing. I'm going to be playing Edric Meadows, a young upstart man from a small town who did put down his plowshares to pick up a weapon to fight, to emulate his idols, the Provokers.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you. And yeah, likewise, man. We're super happy to have you. All right, Nate, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Nate from WASD20, and I am playing Sander Denara, who is a halfling monk from Sonageist, which is the former center of the Khazran Empire, now a scorched and deserted land, mostly deserted, not all apparently. And yeah, Sander is a Ghostwise halfling, and yeah, I'm just thrilled to be here. I've been giddy all day, so let's get on with it.
Absolutely, man. I've been restless, just like pacing around the house for 9 hours at this point. My wife is like, "Go play in your game." All right, Tim, go ahead, man.
Hey guys, I am Tim, and I am half of Tabletop Terrors. I run the channel with my brother James. We're about just fun-loving D&D. If you guys haven't subscribed, head over there. Matt usually puts the link in the comments below. Check us out. Go subscribe now. We love to hang out, have a great time, and I am playing Christoph Stormraven. I'm playing a druid who has left his roots and is now being pulled back into the druidic ways due to some extenuating circumstances and a tragedy. So I'm really excited to see how this plays out. So thanks, Matt.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's get into it. It is Accordance Day. More specifically, it is the 20th Accordance Day. Dawn falls upon the city of 1,000 spires, or as it's better known, Falhast. Standing as a beacon at the mouth of the broken past, the last refuge before the blasted landscape of Sonageist. Banners of gold and crimson catch the hot, dry, arid wind from Sonageist fluttering. And to the west, dark rain clouds float over the green landscape that is Gwynterod. The Wayward Wanderer is out there somewhere. Shadevale, Stone Rift, Fulgrim, Brook. But our story is elsewhere. Our story lies here in Falhast. Crowds mill outside the city walls. There's thousands. They've come here to celebrate Accordance Day, the date commemorating the victory over the Corruptor, the day that the Provokers prevailed. Blood guards, garbed in their crimson leather armor, wielding crossbows and spears, admit visitors one by one for the day's festivities. The crowds are wildly varied. There's dwarves, halflings, humans, elves. People from all across the Western Southlands have come to Falhast. But while there's excitement in the air, the Bloodguards are anxious. They're posted everywhere, scanning the crowd, inspecting possessions, patting people down. Today is a day of joy, yes, but it is also a day not as fondly remembered by some people here in Falhast. And certain events as of late have led the Bloodguard to, well, keep their guard up. The air is electric with this excitement. It's fragranced with food and drink from all across Erenoth, carrying voices in a dozen different dialects. There are booths, carts set up along the streets leading up into Accordance Square. And as we fly over these crowds, we see the different colors, we see the different faces, we hear the different voices. We find a young man standing alone in Accordance Square. His name is Kristoff, and this is his first day in Falhast. Kristoff, you are standing in front of a stone statue, larger than life. The statue is of 4 figures, surrounded by a waiting pool. Visitors come forward, brushing past you to leave coins and flowers and different trinkets at the feet of these figures. They wade through the water to get to them. These are the Provokers. You see Durgan Bloodmountain. He's rearing back with a hammer, looking as if he's about to throw it. You see Brasswick Feeblehammer, holding an axe aloft, holding his shield up, protecting his allies. You see Erdon Saroshint, standing taller than the rest, drawing back on a bow while at the same time still holding his sword, ever ready for action. And finally, you see Dice, the wizard. He looks as if he might be floating in this statue. His robes, tattered, are flowing around him, and he's holding a staff above his head. These are the Provokers as they are remembered by the people of Falhast. Kristoff, what is going through your mind as you stand before these statues in a land that is not your own, in a city you've never been to, on perhaps the most important day of the year for these people?
I'm thinking that it's busier here than I was hoping, and that statue's pretty well made. And if nothing else, I would probably... Is there a base to it?
Yeah, there's kind of a large stone base, and that's what it's kind of piled up with different items right now. People are leaving coins and things as offerings.
would it be totally? I'm not trying to. Christoph wouldn't be drawing attention to himself, but if it was just droves of people, etc., I might even sit on the base of the statue. Would that be heavily frowned upon, or?
No, there's people milling about the statue, climbing all over it. There's people in the waiting pool surrounding it. It seems like this is a statue that was built as a way for people to enjoy and remember the Provokers, rather than some sort of cold piece of art that is meant to just be looked upon from afar.
Totally. So yeah, I would. Christoph would find probably Durgan's foot, and sort of lean back and dig into a bag that has been searched twice by the blood guards. Come on. And he'd rifle through the bag, but they're in a hurry and they didn't see the hidden pocket. Now, what he pulls out of it probably wouldn't even deserve to be in a hidden pocket of a bag to most. It's a worn book. And this book is obviously missing a chunk out of its midsection because the cover flaps together like a book would when there's a piece of its soul missing, a piece of the pages. But he flips open and he starts to just sort of thumb through it. And there are odd diagrams in it and handwriting on the side and the margins. And he sort of just runs his finger over one of the words and just continues to read the book.
Christoph, how did you come here to Falhast? What method of transportation did you use, and did you have a guide bringing you here?
Yeah, I paid a small fella, little guy. He was really knowledgeable, and I don't know if he would have followed me into the city, but I absolutely would have been brought here by one of those monks. The ones that are all around the desert. Most people know them around here. They're really nice. They sell trinkets and things like that. But yeah, for a few silver, he brought me here near the gates. I haven't seen him around, though, not for a little while.
Yeah, and that monk seemed a little timid to be coming into the main gate. He seemed like cautious, and you haven't seen him since you came in. Now, Christoph, as you're standing there, or sitting rather, at the base of this statue, you see another contingent of people come into the square. These people are dressed in military garb, and they're carrying these really tall, wicked-looking pole axes. And you don't recognize the banners that they're flying, but just the tanness of their skin, and sort of you hear their voices and you hear their accents, you can place them as being local to this area of the Western Southlands. And they march into the square. Edric, you're marching in formation into the square. You're here in Falhast for probably the first time in your life. And your commanding officer turns, scans you and the other people that have been chosen as the honor guard. And he says, "All right, we're making our tribute at midday. You can feel free to mill about and enjoy the festivities, but I expect you back here at midday, no later, when the sun's highest in the sky. Am I clear?"
And I would jump up. "Aye, sir!" And all of us in one fell motion, slamming the butts of our pole axes against the ground in recognition. But though my mind and my body, my muscle memory knows everything, what to do and when to do it, absolutely nothing is around me. The other troops are not around me. The milling people who are now curiously looking over at these strange troops, the odd standard of a green and yellow checkered field with 3 sheaves of wheat with 2 pole axes in front of it, looking kind of odd and just walking away. Those who are older may know of this place as Aldemir, one of the towns, one of the saviors of the Western Southlands after the Provokers had done their amazing duties. But for me, nothing is important. Nothing matters except the statue that I can see before me. Those individuals carved from stone are doing the stone a service by allowing the stone to be carved as them. It's awe-inspiring. And the people almost begin to fade and meld into shadow as the only beacon, the only point of light is that statue.
As you approach the statue, walking almost zombie-like, just brushing past people to get to this statue, ignoring everything around you, you see that there are people wading through the water to leave different trinkets, but your gaze sort of falls upon a man sitting at the base of the statue, flipping through a book, and he's sitting at the feet of giants, of legends. But he seems unfazed, he seems unimpressed. His garb is strange, unlike anything you've seen before, and he has just a foreign air about him as he's sitting at the base of this statue.
And I would walk up first, just noticing the statues, and my gaze would kind of fall just awestruck. And I see this man reading, and I kind of crinkle my brow a little bit. You know, there are more important things to worry about than in the pages of some book, you know. Do you know whose feet you're standing beside?
Who? Me? Who, me?
Yes, you. Do you know whose feet you're sitting down beside? That's Durgan Blood Mountain, the champion of Troitherion. Do you not know who you're... Get out of there.
How do you get a shave so close? That is incredible to me. And Kristoff would sort of stand up and inspect your face. Are you 12?
No, I'm older than that. I mean, I'm in the guard, you know. See, I'm 17, and I'm old enough to carry a poleaxe, you know. And you should be old enough to realize that you're not supposed to be sitting right down at the feet of Durgan, champion of Troitherion's feet. I'll have you know.
Don't hurt yourself. I didn't mean anything by it. I was just sitting here because people were ignoring me. It's not a big deal. You know this place?
No, I've never been here before, but I've always thought about being here. Here, this place above all else, the place where the Provokers smash the corrupter and save the whole Western Southlands. Oh, it's more than anything I ever wanted to come here. I'm from Aldemir, and I've never really been anywhere past the big stone walls there. But
sure,
it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a blast. So what are you doing?
Oh well,
why do you got the pole arm?
Oh, I'm here as part of the Aldemiri force. We usually come on in when during this this very special day, and we provide an honor guard. You see, Aldemir during the war was besieged by a large force. They wanted to assault our fields and kill obviously all our people. Well, we fought them off, and after that, we managed to supply almost all the Western Southlands with food. There were a lot of people who were sick and hungry, but we saved a lot of lives there.
Sure. No, yeah, you look important. What day? What special day are you talking about? Wait a second. Is it Accordance Day?
Well, of course it's Accordance Day.
Why would I come here on Accordance Day? Listen. Okay. Here's what I want to know. You've done this before, yeah?
Well, no. I mean, it's my first time out of the city.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, mine too. So here's what we're gonna do. Why don't we stick together, and maybe you help me find a way to get away from all these people. Do you have a room yet?
Well, we don't exactly have rooms or nothing. I mean, we usually just come here and well, most of the lads out here go to the pub. But you know, I was hoping to look around, see places where a provoker's actually been. I could be in the same place as them, and it's so exciting.
No, it is. It's great. So, what I'm saying is, where are you going to sleep tonight?
Oh, well, I don't know. We might probably make camp outside the walls or something, or maybe we'll stay in a tavern.
Do you have it? Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Do you have a tent?
Well, I've got one in my pack.
Perfect. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you out. I'll stand guard for a little while. You'll set up the tent, and I'll protect you. So I'm going to stay with you tonight. I'm doing you a favor here, and I understand that, you know, we just met, and you're probably thinking that I'm doing too much, you know, but trust me, I'm happy to help. So I'm going to stay in your tent tonight.
Well, I mean, it's really just a one-person tent, but
I insist.
That's okay.
I insist.
Oh,
you know what?
right.
And if you need to sleep outside, then that's fine too. I'll bite the bullet. But if we don't get a room right now, because they're probably already gone, all the rooms are gone. It's Accordance Day.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Do you think so? Perhaps we should go find a place to bed down. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Let's go. Do you have any money?
I've got a bit of gold.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to spot me, but it'll be fine. I'm good for it. Yeah, I'm happy to help. So let's go ahead and head toward. I don't know. You see any places you like on the way in?
Well, we're not really allowed to look around while we're marching, but I mean, if you see a place where we can go, that would be all right too. I'd be happy with that.
Sure. Just looking for a place. Let's make sure it's got a couple of exits and close to the perimeter of the city would be nice.
Oh.
So let's do it. And don't forget your money. And Christoph puts his book in the bag and sort of slings his bag over his shoulder.
And I kind of grab the poleaxe and kind of like rest it on my shoulder in the way that I know how to rest it and march without, you know, stabbing people accidentally in the face. And as we're walking, I say, so, do you have a favorite?
Probably like an amber ale, I would say. I'm not really a wine guy. They love that in Torland, but
No. I mean, do you have a favorite provoker? I mean, a lot of people do. I don't, but I mean, a lot of people really are. They do have big fans of them.
I mean, it's like, do I have a favorite provoker? You're 17. I've always liked who's the dwarf?
Well, which one? I mean, there's two of them.
The everybody's favorite one. What's his name? Brass Candle.
Oh, Brasswick Feeblehammer. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, love him. He's great.
It's true.
What about you?
Oh, I don't have a favorite. I like them all. Listening to all the stories and everything. Like the time during the battle with the centaurs, and the battle was turning and it was looking terrible. But then Brasswick Feeblehammer calling out to his great god, raising his hands in the air, and every soldier that fell rose up to keep on the fight. And if it wasn't for him, he'd all be dead. Or Durgan Blood Mountain, when he fought single-handedly.
Can we walk while we talk though? That would be fantastic, because
sure.
I'd love to hear all about this.
Oh, great! I love stories. I love stories about the provokers. They're some of my favorites. Okay. just out of character, I have no idea how long you want this to go on, because I mean we could do this for hours, but it's just like, you know.
As the two of you sort of walk away from the statue, we just hear Edric's voice just carrying on, and we hear Kristoff occasionally say, yeah, sure, right, yeah, I totally remember that. We fly over the city of Falhast, far away from Accordance Square, where the festivities are sort of centrally located, and we fly to the far end of Falhast, to the walls that are closest to Sonegeist, where the streets are not quite as crowded and the buildings are a little bit more run down. And pretty soon we arrive in the Dusk District. It's seemingly abandoned. The buildings are dilapidated, crumbling. There's a strange kind of gray-green mist just covering everything. Part of the walls are kind of crumbling in. There's holes here and there, hastily patched up with boards and loose rubble. But amid these ruins, there's a woman stalking through the buildings, carefully, slowly, cradling a crossbow. This is Holly Rast, and for her, today is just another day on the job. Holly, what are you doing today on your patrol?
The Dusk District is always just a little bit darker. It's always just a little bit more black and white. If the rest of Falhast is colors and gold and crimson and statues, the Dusk District is the upside down. It's like it's a little bit lesser, a little bit more abandoned. She's currently walking. Her footsteps are creaking the floorboards underneath her, as little bits of dust can be heard falling into the cracks, as you see her heavy boot that is scuffed everywhere it could possibly be scuffed. There is still residue of boot polish on it, but you can see it kind of clumping up where the scratches and the scrapes on the boots are. You see her massive pauldrons on her shoulders that protect her from the denizens of the Dusk District. And it is obviously her job to not only take care of them, but to watch out for people who shouldn't be in the Dusk District, people who are coming in from Sonegeist unallowed or in secret. And you see her face covered by this black mask, and you hear as she's breathing, you hear the clanging of a can that she steps into, and it just kind of rattles on the floor and falls into a pit where the floorboards have collapsed downward. And there she looks where that can had rolled, and she sees a small little flower, a morning glory that's purple and a little bit frayed around the edges, and it just looks like it could be a star on a cloudy night, like a beacon of light in an otherwise dark place. And she stops and stares at it for a while. And I imagine it gets very quiet, and then something, a sound or a voice or a person or something, snaps her out of it in a like afraid way, and she lifts up her crossbow, but realizes, I don't know, maybe realizes it's not a threat, but I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, what you see instead is a emaciated dog just sort of stalking around the corner. And when it sees you, it kind of cowers back into the shadows, and you hear the paw as it sort of patters away from you. But then you hear something else. You hear raised voices off in the distance, closer to the wall. You can't quite make out what they're saying, but they sound angry.
I would continue to try to discern what they are saying. But trying to be quiet amidst the very creaky floorboards in this run-down room in the Dusk District. This abandoned, probably what was an old dining room.
Yeah, and as you move through the room, the floorboards creaking beneath your boots. It's hard to tell what they're saying, but it's escalating. There's definitely a fight breaking out close to the walls.
Now, close to the city walls?
Yeah, close to the city walls in Falhast. Yeah.
You would see her realize what it is, slump, and then you'd see a very visible eye roll, like, here we go again. Really? Like, on accordance day, so it begins. Yay, another day on the job. And she's going to begin walking towards, or I would say just moving very quickly towards those walls and out of the Dusk District.
Closer to the walls that encircle the Dusk District, these walls that are in disrepair. Just outside of these walls is a small form, barely visible in the sand and the sun, carefully picking its way, trying to find a way into the walls. This is Sander, and he needs to get into Falhast today, but he knows he can't be seen doing it. Sander, as you're skirting along the outside of the walls, you notice a few holes that you could potentially crawl through to get inside. What would you like to do?
I crouch down. I have a small leather pack. I open it up, and inside I have a small, like a broom, a brush, and I unwrap my veil from my face, tuck it in my tunic, and I start to brush off the sand, trying to make myself a little more presentable. I'm not quite used to city life, but I know that when I've seen city folk with the veil and with the desert sand clinging to me, it makes them more suspicious. So I'm brushing off, and I would like to try to sneak into this, any opening I could in the wall, or find some loose stone that perhaps I could pull just to get a little extra room, or even to climb.
Yeah, and you do find several different holes in this wall. They've been hastily patched up by the Blood Guard with boards and pieces of rubble. It's sort of an ongoing repair project, this wall that's crumbling into Sonageist. And more people have been coming from Sonageist to sort of squat in this area because there's something out there in the sands, and you don't quite know what it is, Sander, but you definitely know that these people that are fleeing out of Sonageist probably have the right idea at this point. You find one of these holes, one of a larger one, just big enough for a halfling to fit through. And you do so. And you crawl through the rubble, you feel the stones scraping against you, but you end up on the other side into the Dust District, and you immediately feel that strange mist kind of fill your nostrils, and it just kind of has a strange, acrid odor. No negative effects, but it's definitely not pleasant. You hear voices on the wind, and you know today must be some sort of holiday. There must be some sort of festivity going on, because there's much more people here in Falhast than is normal. You pick your way down the street a little bit, I'm assuming moving towards Falhast proper. As you do so, you hear some stones shift off to your right.
I pause, and I kind of step into the shadow of the nearest building and just make myself flat against the wall. And I wait.
You see two forms emerge into the street. They're kind of slouched forms covered in tatters of robes, carrying clubs. One of them says, "I thought I heard something over here. Let's see what we can find." And they continue walking down the street, and you see one of these forms is some sort of undead creature. You know it as a husk, Sander. The skin is like parchment paper. You see its skeletal face. The other one is something you've never seen before. It has reptilian features, and as it scans the street, you see one eye glowing from the hood. "Go over there. I think I heard something." And the husk moves towards your position.
I take one slow step further away, still flat against the wall as I can get. And after one slow step, I bolt and I run the other direction.
As you do so, the voices call out behind you. "Hey, stop there! Get after him!" And the husk takes off behind you. Holly, as you're walking towards the raised voices, you see two shapes bolt down the street right in front of you, outside of the building that you're in. One of them is small and slight, covered in robes. The other one you immediately recognize as a husk. What would you like to do?
Holly sees this and immediately does planning out and preparation in her mind, and then decides that she's going to chase them, but do so in a way that would position her to be in front of them, aiming the crossbow at a safe distance between her and them.
Awesome. Go ahead and give me a dexterity check if you would. Acrobatics if you'd like.
Acrobatics, first roll of the campaign. I already spilled Gatorade on my sheet too. It's already a mess.
Perfect. I know. I got cheeseburger pizza on my prep notes, so that's perfect.
Heck yeah. 17, man. That's how this campaign's gonna go. Ain't bad. That is a total of a 20.
So you expertly parkour. You can describe it. Describe how you get in front of these two guys.
Actually, you don't really know it. You see them running away, and from their perspective, you see that maybe they see her and they're like, oh, they run, and then they finally lost her. Like, whew, we lost her. And then they turn the corner, and there she is holding the crossbow, and she says, "You have 3 seconds to tell me why I'm not going to kill you right now. 3 seconds, go."
And Sander, you're in the lead, and the husk kind of comes to a skidding stop behind you as the crossbow is trained on the both of you.
And I immediately hold my hands up and I drop my my quarterstaff, and I just say, "Please, I am being pursued. A little help."
So the husk is pursuing him, right?
Yeah, it's pretty clear that the husk is running after him.
Okay, did the husk stop?
Yeah, the husk came to the skidding stop in the sand of the street and is standing there holding a what looks like just like a club of wood and metal, just kind of a piece of debris, really.
Okay, so now as a member of the Black Bloods, seeing a husk, is this something like Walking Dead seeing a walker you just kill on sight, or is this something that's like...
So with the husks are an interesting sort of situation, because though they are undead creatures, it's not like they're just a zombie or a skeleton walking around. They're sapient creatures. Most of the time, they're rounded up and put through the legal system of Falhast. Most of the time, they're relocated back into Sonageist. But it's one of those things where a lot of Blackbuds just kind of shoot on sight and find an excuse later, like, oh, he was charging at me, or he killed one of my friends, he hurt one of my friends, or whatever. So it's kind of a sticky situation.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure what Holly would do in this situation. I'm not entirely sure if she would shoot on sight or if she wouldn't, so I'm going to roll for it. Holly levels her crossbow you see maybe some. Would I recognize Sander Denara?
I think that's up to you guys to decide. I know that Sander has been through Foul House before. I don't know if you've had dealings with him yet, though.
Okay.
You want me to roll for that, Barker?
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, if I get a 10 or higher, we know each other. I got a 5. We don't.
Okay, fantastic. So there's 0 recognition here. You see Holly level her crossbow, and then she says, "Your time's up." And she pulls the trigger right at the husk, at the head of the husk.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Okay. That is a 21.
Awesome. Yeah, you hit.
Awesome. And rolling damage, that would be a 6 plus dex is 9.
The bolt goes right through this thing's paper mache head. It goes through the parchment-like skin, through the eye socket, and out the other side, sticking into a building behind this thing. It stands there for a second, teetering, and then drops to the sand, and a black, oozing ichor just pools out from behind its head.
And I imagine that maybe, Sander, you might look at it happen, and then you hear a noise like a and almost the second you look back, there's a bolt ready in that crossbow again. And she looks to you and says, 3 seconds.
I am just here, coming to the archives. Please, I was sent by the leader of my order. I mean no harm.
If you mean no harm, why didn't you come through the back gate? Huh? Huh? Is it your first time in Falhast? It's not my first time in Falhast.
Please, it is not my first time either. I like to avoid the crowds. What is going on today anyway?
You'd see maybe a faint look in her eye like, ugh, yeah, Accordance Day. But she doesn't say anything, and instead she says, well, that doesn't matter. What are you hiding?
Hiding? What gives you the impression I'm hiding anything?
If you sneak through the Dusk District when you could just as easily come through...
These streets are incredibly crowded, please. I like to avoid crowds.
Yeah, sure. And she would probably do with him what she would normally do, knowing he's not a husk. She would probably, I don't know, take... if he's doing something unlawful, take him to the nearby headquarters.
Yeah, well, and he's absolutely doing something unlawful because the Dust District is off limits. If you're not a black blood, you're not allowed to be in there without permission.
And I imagine I would definitely put up a bit of a fight, but realize that I don't have my weapon here. I'm ignorant of the fact that I should not be here, but I go along with it, and I'm going to stick to that story.
Now, is the reptilian figure around?
I was just going to say, Sander is the only one that saw the reptilian figure. You weren't aware of it, Holly. So, Sander, if you want to take a peek around and see if you can spot that figure again, you can.
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, what do I see? Can I hear anything, see anything?
So, looking around, you don't see the figure anywhere. It was definitely distinct, even though you got just a brief glimpse of it. You've never seen anything like it before. It looked like it had sort of a lizard-like face, sort of shadowed by this hooded cloak, and one eye that was just blazing this sort of golden color. But looking around, you don't see it.
Okay, yeah, I guess I would turn and is Holly like, what does she have me by the scruff of the neck here? What's going on?
I imagine she would keep you in front of her and kind of like shove you forward and kind of tell you where to walk as she stays a few paces behind you. Mm-hmm. Where are you from anyway, as you're kind of walking through these abandoned streets, slums?
I am from Sonnegeist. Old Kazrin, you know.
Sonnegeist is a pretty big place, I've heard. Never been. Turn left up here.
Yes, it's pretty big. We wander around, you know. It is, we do what we must to survive. I am a part of the Unscorched. It's a small order of monks. You have heard of it, perhaps?
Let me see. Probably religion, I'm assuming. I got a 7. So I don't have enough time to keep track of all of your cults. Sonnegeist is a big place. There's a lot of people. You spend your days doing what you can to survive. Does that involve sneaking into Foulhast? Turn right up here.
I am only following the orders of my leader, trying to get to the archives. What is your
What do you need out of there anyway? After they both speak at the same time, she says, "No, you go first."
I don't need anything. I just need to talk to somebody, a friend we have there.
At the archives.
Yes. And what did you say her name was?
Meredith. She lies as she continues on. I imagine the next kind of border outpost between the Dusk District and the non-Dusk District part of Foulhast is in sight now.
You look far too tough to be a Meredith, but whatever. I am Sander Denara.
Her only response to you is that she says that Merediths can be tougher than you think.
Obviously.
So the two of you approach an outpost of the Crimson Guard. Holly, you approach. The gate opens up, and a sergeant is standing there. He's cradling a crossbow. He nods to you. Rast, what do we got here?
The usual scum. Caught him sneaking in the back.
Well, we're all full up here. You'll have to take him to the Crimson Tower through the square.
There's nothing I can do. Can she double up one of the cells? I've got stuff to do.
Higgins bought 12 husks through this morning. 12, Rast, okay? My hands are tied. You're going to have to bring him through the square.
12. Why didn't he just... Never mind. You got it. This way. And she just kind of shoves you, Sander, in the new direction.
He calls after you. Sorry to burden you with your job, Rast.
You only burn me with your company.
And his retort is lost in the din of the crowd as you merge into the crowded streets of Foulhast, moving towards the square. Back in Accordance Square, Edric and Kristoff are walking through the crowd, seeing the different booths off to all sides. Different foods, tantalizing smells are wafting up to you. People are selling all sorts of different trinkets and bits and baubles. There's all sorts of little figurines that are carved in the likeness of the Provokers and other legendary figures from that great time. There's even figurines of the Corruptor. He's monstrous. He's this huge armored creature with fangs and wings sprouting from his back, and he's depicted with his claws sort of like this in this very just dastardly sort of pose. And people are sort of having them posed on their booths in these battle scenes with the Provokers sort of standing still in front of this Corruptor. As you're walking through the square, you hear something of a commotion back at the statue. And you see a large, bulky man, larger than any human probably either of you have ever seen. And as you turn back to look, he's splashing what looks like blood on the Provoker statue from this bucket that he's carrying. He splashes this blood on the statue, and everyone just screams in horror as he does so, and you hear him calling out, "Murderers! War makers! It is you! You're the reason why we're here! You're the reason why we're here!" and immediately blood guards are at his side, hitting him with the butts of their spears and carrying him away. And as they're dragging him through the square, he keeps calling out, "Murderers! War makers!" And they drag him out.
There's I'd imagine a certain blood guard that might seem to be a leader of the rest of them that is escorting this person away. And maybe he uses a magical spell or something to stop him from speaking as well. So you hear it get cut off, like "War make," and his mouth is moving and he's wheezing, but no sound is coming out. And his mouth begins to dry up. And you see this man just shoulder into Holly's shoulder, and even to the point where he hits Sander, and just kind of gives her a smirk as he kind of shoves her aside.
And Sander would just be absolutely wide-eyed at this scene, just, taking it all in, not really sure what's going on here.
And at what point is can we hear this? Can Edric and Christoph hear this?
Yeah, all four of you see the aftermath of this happening. You see this red liquid just dripping off of the statue. And already you see that people are wailing and like splashing water on the statue, trying to wash off this liquid that has been poured on the statue. And you see him getting dragged off and getting silenced by some sort of minor magic that the Blood Guard is capable of.
And Christoph would be looking to Edric, sort of like, "We got places to be, man. Like, I know that," and he's not saying this. He's saying this with his eyes. "I know that your buddies, your favorite heroes in all the world, just got some blood spilled on them, but it happens. It happens, man." And so to try to make light and sort of, he turns to Edric and goes, "See, this is why I don't come out on holidays."
I can't believe it. I can't believe what he did. Did you see that? It makes me angry. And you can, even though he's a kid, you can start to hear the leather of his gloves straining against the wood, the octagonally carved shaft of the poleaxe. You can hear the protest between the wood and the leather as crackling, and realize now that although he's just a kid, he's a big kid. Matter of fact, he's probably about 6'5", a good 260 in muscle. He's a very, very big child. And looking back, kind of shaking his head. Why don't we just go? Let's go find that tavern, and let's just go, okay, please?
Yeah. No, man, listen. Did you see who it was? It was a dirty grunter anyway. And
was a grunter.
Come on, man. Don't make me explain it. It was a Gavalt. Don't say it around. Just don't say it around other Gavalts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
It's a barbarian, man. It's just.
I know. We had a few of them in Oldemir after the war. They were hurt, were dying. Instead of us killing them, they begged us for help. Said they'd work the fields and whatnot. We actually took them in, and for the most part, some of them were really quite nice.
Yeah, and there are good ones. There are always good ones. But overall, in my experience, personally, the Gavalt are just, they're an oppressed people, and they choose to be oppressed, and they made their choices. And you know what? I don't know much about the Provokers you're talking about, but I know what it looks like to I know what it looks like to bow a knee and be stupid enough to follow someone into war who you know is evil. You see that toy back there? You see that? And he grabs one of the figurines of the corruptor. This sort of, like you said, this monstrously cartoonish looking figure. You see this? This is what happened. Do you remember? Do you remember what these people did? Yeah, this is the guy that they pinned it all on. But he didn't do it alone. And he puts the figure back.
That's true. He may not have done it alone, but sometimes people need to cling on to something, you know, like they need to just cling on and hold on to something more powerful than them. And maybe these poor people, these Gavolt, well, maybe they just needed something to hold on to that was bigger than them. And it unfortunately just happened to be this corrupter fella. And he was evil. And I'm glad that Provokers did incredible things, and they did amazing things. And I know I'm not going to get started again, but you're right. I mean, down to it, that's pretty much what happened. They followed somebody, and well, they paid the price for it. It's a shame.
Well, I'll tell you what. We don't follow anybody, right? You and me, Ed, we're going to do our own thing. We're here, just a couple of guys. We're going to get some drinks. I'm going to sleep in that tent. And we don't follow the wrong people. How about you and I, we make a deal with each other? All right?
Well, I mean, technically, I'd be following you, wouldn't I? I mean, I'm just gonna.
Well, I mean, let's not get literal here. I'm trying to do a thing, you know, and you're messing up the thing, but it's fine. You know what? I literally look up to you.
All right, Mr. Christoph.
You're a big guy. I saw you sort of bow up there. Your shoulders are like steel. Let me. What are you?
Well, I am wearing chainmail. So yes, my shoulders do have steel on them.
Sure,
but
you're very literal. You're a very literal guy. So what I'm saying is, I think we're friends, right?
I'd like that. Yeah.
Sounds great. So why don't you and we go get that drink?
All right. I wonder if they have mead. I remember drinking mead at my dad's table. Sometimes he let me have a little bit left over, and it was so good. All that honey and a bit of fizz and everything. Okay.
I'll give you some mead. And, you know, first round's on you.
All right. Yeah, sure.
As the two of you are walking, you're sort of, you know, brushing through this crowd, and another huge man, very similar in build to the man who threw that liquid on the Provoker statue, shoulders past both of you. Just like really digs his shoulder into both of you. And he kind of glares back at you, and you see this close cropped blonde hair, and you see a serpent tattoo sort of winding its way up his arm and coming out from the neck of his tunic and up his neck, sort of terminating right below his ear. And he just kind of scoffs at the two of you and continues walking, making his way towards the statue. Holly and Sander, you two are making your way through the square. You witness the man getting dragged off by the blood guard. And Holly, you sort of hone in on this huge guy. You've sort of been trained to keep an eye out for the Gavolt. The last few years have been very, very tense. The Gavolt are fighting very hard for citizenship and being able to work and live without being mistreated, without being treated like second-class citizens. Because even though they may be working under the Accord of Provocation in order to make amends for what happened during the war for the Western Southlands. They've felt as though they should be afforded the same rights as anybody else here in Falhast. But with that comes a lot of unrest and potential violence. And there's something about this huge man that's stalking up to the Provoker statue. There's just something about him that strikes you as odd, and you've developed this sixth sense through almost a decade serving on the Blood Guard.
Her knuckles tighten around the pistol grip of the crossbow, and she doesn't realize that her aim is no longer on Sander, who probably wouldn't know that, but is moved up from the small person to be leveled over Sander's head, almost subconsciously, keeping an eye on this person.
He makes his way up to the statue. He's wearing this cloak around his shoulders, and he sort of steps into the water. You see him kneel down, take some of the water in his hands, and he lets it run through his fingers. The water is red now because of this liquid that has been splashed on the statue, and he lets it run through his fingers. And you see that his right hand, it looks odd. Even from this distance, Holly, you see that it's black and scaly and almost looks like it ends in claws. And he closes his fist. He takes a breath. And he begins speaking. You see his mouth moving. But his voice is coming from everywhere. It's inconceivably loud. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Accordance Day. I'm glad you all could be here to celebrate murderers. I'm glad you all could be here to leave coins and trinkets, treats, for your heroes. Let's hear it for the Provokers, for the men who won the war, for the men who instigated genocide against my people. The festivities aren't slated to start until midday, and at this point the Blood Guard are like, what the hell? And they're rushing towards the square, and he says, but I think they should start right now. And he closes his fist. I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw, please. DC 12.
Kristoff would take his save to push Edric away from harm.
Okay, so you automatically fail the save, and Edric gets to roll with advantage. Everyone starts with 1 point of inspiration, yes.
I would, honestly, you know what? I would do the same thing for Edric. Not Edric, sorry, Sander. I would do the same thing almost simultaneously.
What a bunch of nice people, man.
Because Sander's my prisoner, so I would look to that as like an honorable charge.
Oh,
And
man,
Edric is like a lummox.
So, Holly and Kristoff, you both fail the save. Edric and Sander both make it. Holly and Kristoff, you both take 3 bludgeoning damage as the ground erupts from beneath you. Cracks splay out from the statue as this man closes his fist, and there's a strange purple-red light glowing around this fist as he clenches it. The cracks run across the square, and the ground heaves upwards, dropping you to your feet. Even if you made your save, you're now dropped prone to the ground. A great cry goes up from the people as they fall to the ground as rubble erupts upwards. Several people don't get up. A water main beneath the square bursts and starts filling the square with water. Water just erupts in a geyser from several different cracks. There's a ringing in your ears. And you just see the man standing next to the statue, grinning as he looks upon his work.
through the screams and the stampeding people. Everything kind of seems like it's in slow motion a little bit. Maybe there's a ringing in Holly's ears as she looks around, and she grabs for Sander to figure out if he's okay, but instead she grabs this really strange looking figure with wearing leather armor and has a beautiful bow strapped to his back, clutching this book. She grabs him by the collar, trying to get up, thinking that he's Sander, and then realizing that he's not, pushes him away and moves on to find Sander.
Kristoff, you're heaved to your feet by somebody, a woman, it looks like. You only catch a glimpse of her. But as soon as you're on your feet, she pushes you aside and continues on.
Hey, you are stronger than me.
She hears the sound as she begins to continue. She finds Sander and lifts him up and sees if he's okay.
And Sander's got his little feet kicking in the air as you lift him up, and he says, "Thank you for that. I didn't know we were friends." And you would see also he's eyeing well, maybe you would notice, maybe not, the quarterstaff that you have on your back, and he says, "Not quite sure what's going on here, but I might be needing that. What do you say?"
She kind of stands herself up and gives you a look like, "Yeah, I don't think so," as she keeps the staff on her back, looking around for this man, and yeah.
Edric, how are you reacting to this explosion going off around you?
All around me is just a cacophony of sounds, just like screaming and rumbling, and the sounds of bits falling off of buildings and loose ceramic tiles off of roofs just falling, hitting, cracking against the ground, and everything is just so much. It's like when you see so much, your brain has a hard time to just process everything. So everywhere, grabbing still with a death grip on the poleaxe, I just sit up and look around, and immediately I can't see him. I don't know where is Kristoff? Where is Mr. Kristoff? Where is he? And then watching him get lifted off the ground, I look for a moment, and I'm ready to leap up and attack this person who is manhandling Kristoff, but he's okay. He's up. So slowly I'm starting to get back to my feet. I'm still confused and scared, and calling out, "Mr. Kristoff, what's happening?"
Hey, over here. Over here. Keep your head down. Duck. You're tall. I don't know what's happening. Oh, a nice lady picked me up. Get next to something. Get next to a wall. Get low. Come on.
And I'll duck down low, and I'll begin following Kristoff.
And Kristoff is pretty fleet of foot, but he's not moving so quickly that Edric can't follow. In fact, he's moving in such a way that Edric can follow. And so Kristoff gets low, sort of hand on the ground, skulking, and they get near one of those carts that's selling the trinkets. And so Kristoff peers above the cart, and his focus softens so that the figure of the corruptor, the growling cartoonish figurine, is right in his eye, and he sort of looks at it, and then he looks to the square where this man is, and he just kind of shakes his head.
Mr. Kristoff, are we going to be heroes? Are we going to attack him?
Yeah. You know what? We're smarter than heroes. Just hold on. I don't know what this guy's play is. It could be a trap. Let the Blood Guard go in and do their job. We stay back. We don't have any jurisdiction here.
Yeah, but we're right here. We could sneak up on him and attack him.
We can do that. But we shouldn't be the first ones in. I promise you. Okay? Just wait. What did your the wizard with the metal the face?
Dice the Arc Wizard?
Right. What would he do? Would he rush in? I don't think so. He's
No,
smart,
but
right?
Well, I mean, he'd probably encase him in a solid block of ice, like you did with that dragon.
Well, can you do that? I can't do that.
No, I can't.
Okay. So
but I can,
right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Plan B. Wait. Do you have ice magic? Are you a wizard?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not a wizard, but I can listen. One thing I do know is people. And I can tell you that guy is looking for people to die today. And it's not going to be me, and it's not going to be you, right? We're going to look out for each other, right?
Yes. Right. I still have to buy you a drink.
That's right. You do still have to buy me a drink, and I'm going to sleep in that tent when this is over. But for now, keep your head down, and we will strike when it's right. Just wait for my mark.
And I would get down kind of on one knee and kind of lay out the poleaxe just kind of right in front, just aiming the spike and the axe blade down, just in a defensive position and kind of waiting to see what is going to happen.
And as you are standing there, you all four of you see the Blood Guard, after they've recovered from the initial shock, just sort of beeline for this man standing at the statue. They grab spear, they grab crossbows, and they charge towards him. A few bolts go off. This guy takes a couple of the bolts and goes down to one knee, his blood pooling into the water. But he stands back up after the bolts hit him. He breaks one of them off and tosses it in the ground. Is that all you have for me? I'm not alone. And soon, more people emerge from the crowd, dropping hoods off of cloaks. You see these huge men and women, these bulky men and women, tattooed with these sort of shaved sides of their head, long hair braided. They immediately draw weapons, rusty daggers, clubs, and they begin beating on the Blood Guard. The Blood Guard are completely caught off guard, being attacked from behind. You see a few of them drop immediately. Holly, how are you reacting to this, seeing your comrades in arms being dispatched so easily and taken so by surprise?
She looks shocked at first as her blurred vision kind of hyper focuses on this giant of a man, but then she sees a robed figure kind of unhood, and you see, oh, it's another one, and it's right to her left, and she's gonna like ram him with her elbow right in his nose before he can do anything.
Yeah, give me an attack.
All right, so that would be strength. That would be a total of 11 plus my proficiency bonus, right? That would be 13.
Yeah, plus your strength for unarmed attacks.
Yeah, so 13.
13? Okay, cool. 13 is just enough. They're not wearing really leather or armor of any kind. They have some hide jerkins, but that's about it. So they're pretty easy to hit. So go ahead and... Oh, wait, it's just one unarmed damage. So you go backwards with your elbow, wheel backwards. You hear a crack as this guy's nose breaks under your elbow. But you also have shooting pain in your elbow as you hit someone whose bones are quite a bit denser than a normal human's. You feel your arm kind of ache from that shock.
Awesome.
We're going to go in passive initiative order here, even if all of you aren't in combat, just so we can keep it streamlined here. So Holly, you've wheeled back, you elbow a guy in the face. Sander, you see this happen. You see a couple more guys spot Holly in the crowd, recognize her as a Blood Guard, and starts charging towards her with blades out.
So basically, as she's doing this, I am going to try to slip behind, and I just, kind of duck. Well, I don't have to duck. I walk under her elbow very deftly, and I'm going to try to slip that quarterstaff from her back.
Awesome. And unless Holly tries to stop you, you can easily slip it from her back.
Yep, and I'd imagine she doesn't even notice, or maybe
Okay.
maybe she notices and says, "Hey," but she can't do anything, and she wouldn't.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm basically I'm just going to slip under, and I'm going to try to just smash this thing into this guy's knee, and then basically kick him in the back. I'm behind him now.
Awesome.
All right, so that's a okay. So here's the deal. I have the unarmed attack as a bonus action. Well, I don't know if I would have a bonus action if I slipped the staff free.
No, I'll say that you're sort of moving. You slip the staff free. You can still take your standard and your bonus.
Okay. So do I make 2 separate attack rolls, I assume?
Yeah, so your standard is going to be with your quarterstaff, and then your bonus would be with just your unarmed.
Okay, so the 24 and a 21 to hit.
Yeah, both of those hit. Damn.
Okay. And so we'll go for 11 damage total.
Awesome. This guy drops as you just crack into him with both of these attacks, and he just drops with a couple of broken bones on the ground, bleeding from these wounds. Kristoff, you're standing there with your back to a building. You see the commotion start. You see a couple of blood guard go down, and you see one of these large cloaked men looks over, spots Edric with the poleaxe sort of pointed outwards, and charges towards him with a blade over his head.
So, in that moment, as Kristoff sees this hooded figure, his first instinct wouldn't be a weapon or fighting. He's being very wary. But then, as you said, as the blade comes over this hooded figure's head, Kristoff immediately steps in, and I imagine that this hooded figure is kind of doing the wield, like you said, over their head, leaving an entire portion of their midsection unguarded. And Kristoff takes a few measured steps, and as he's stepping, he pulls a simple but powerful scimitar from under his sort of cloak, and goes to bury it almost as a bludgeoning weapon with an edge, just like into the meat right there. And then it's a 16. Sorry, I put it in the chat.
Oh, I missed it.
I realized
waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, I realized that you didn't. And I thought, it's
16,
a 16.
16 is definitely a hit.
All right.
You guys are looking for 12 or better on this.
Perfect. So 2 steps, and with measured, the trajectory is just thunk, and now the scimitar is in between the ribs of this hooded figure, as blood spurts from that sort of tattered cloak.
How much damage did you say?
I didn't, because I'm a bad player.
Tim forgot how to play D&D.
I did. I'm like, I'm going to keep blaming it on. I'm like, I've never played a druid. I'm a good guy druid.
I'm a good guy druid. I've never played one of these before.
7 damage.
19. Okay.
No, man,
cool.
I put it in the chat. Well, you didn't see it. I'm just kidding. I didn't.
So your scimitar sinks into this guy's side. He remains standing, though. He actually kind of closes his arm around the scimitar and sort of pins it a little bit to him. And you're sort of locked into him now at this point. All right, Edric, you see this guy charging towards you, and before you can react, this blade strikes out from behind you, and you see that Kristoff has landed a blow on this large barbaric man. What would you like to do?
Panic. I'm panicking. This is new. I've never done this before, and just seeing this man come towards me, blade raised high, realizing like my sudden mortality is now staring me in the face, in the form of a grinning skull. Suddenly, like almost miraculously, this blade just passes in between the ribs of this man, and so panicking, I come around with the pole arm, and I use the spike on the end of the weapon to basically stab him through the throat. And I just pierce into the side of his neck, and dealing 9 damage as I just kind of like shove it through. I'm not sure if that takes him out or not.
Yeah, blood spurts from this wound, and he just goes down.
And I would imagine that the weight is something, because it's something new to me, I would probably fall with him. Falling, him hitting the ground, and me almost like sliding, my whole hand sliding down the poleaxe. I kind of hit the ground, and I see his eyes staring at me. The light is winking out. All I can do is look at him and, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm trying to push the blood and try to like close the wound. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then, yeah, that's it.
The man standing in the wading pool, the water is now completely blood red as the paint has sort of come down from the Provoker statue, and also this guy is bleeding from the crossbow bolts. He clenches his fists one more, and he sort of reels back and does this kind of motion, almost like he's pitching a baseball. And out of his hand comes these 2 dart-like manifestations of purple light that are wreathed in this red sort of lightning-looking energy. And he hurls 2 of these bolts, and they go through 2 of the blood guards approaching him, passing through their armor and through their flesh completely. And they both just drop to the ground dead. And he has sort of a sneer on his face. And he then turns and drops his cloak completely, and you get the sight of just how massive this guy is. And you see that the serpent tattoo is not just here on his arm going up his neck, it's across his entire body. It's a multi sort of, it looks like a dozen serpents all intertwining together going across his torso. And he brandishes what looks like a halberd, but he's wielding it like an axe. It's a polearm that he's sort of just holding with one hand, and he steps out of the wading pool and just immediately meets the first blood guard he sees and drives this poleaxe into the guy's gut, kicks him off of the weapon, and again stalks through the crowd looking for another target. There are one more of these Gavalt men charging towards Holly and Sander. He reaches Sander first and takes a swing with a short blade. And I love that the AC is on the overlays. That's so nice. He brings this blade down, and Sander, you manage to block it with your quarterstaff. The one that you elbowed, Holly, is going to attempt to grapple you. Go ahead and give me either a athletics or acrobatics check to contest his grapple.
Okay, we're going to do athletics. She's just going to focus on just breaking free of him using pure strength, and that is a total of 10.
10. Okay, so his powerful arm gets around your neck and sort of, he almost lifts you up off the ground, because this guy is standing almost a full foot higher than you. As he kind of wrenches back with his fist, you feel your back crack as he pulls you into this painful bear hug-like embrace. Edric and Kristoff, one of these men, it's actually a woman, she pulls out a brace of darts, and she flings one towards Edric after having seen the poleaxe go through her comrade's neck. And Edric, the dart whizzes by your head. You actually feel a couple hairs just get sheared right off the side of your head, but it lands harmlessly in the pillar behind you. Holly, it is your turn.
Holly is has her back to this guy, right, and kind of in like a chokehold.
Yeah, exactly. He just wrapped one huge. I mean, his bicep is actually constricting your windpipe a little bit. That's how big this guy is.
Awesome. And you'll hear the clatter of wood as the crossbow falls to the ground and the bolt is kind of just goes skittering. She reaches to her side, pulls back kind of this cape, I guess, that she has is disgusting from being used as a blanket in the Dusk District for so many days. She pulls it aside and you see this kind of crimson rusted stained hatchet that she pulls off of her leg and attempts to slam it in the side of his head with her arm.
Yeah, go ahead and make the attack.
19 plus the attack with the hand axe is 20.
That hits, definitely.
It's dexterous, so it'd be more. So forget that it's one of them dexterous weapons.
One of them finesse weapons.
One of them finesse weapons. Okay, great. So then damage would be D6. That would be 7.
7 damage?
7 points. Yep.
You go ahead and describe it. You put the blade of this hatchet into the guy's skull.
He's bleeding everywhere out of his face from Holly's armored elbow, just jamming his nose into his face, into his brain socket, and he's just bleeding all over. And she says the words as she kind of glances up to him, "That's a pretty face." And then she slams the axe into the side of his head, and he kind of wriggles off of her. As his nervous system is just twitching because of this hatchet, and then she pulls it out.
Awesome, man. Anything else you want to do with your turn, movement, or anything like that? You're now free of the grapple, obviously.
I would stand up. I would stand up and I would pull the other hand axe out, so I have 2 of them.
Yeah, dual wielding them hand axes. All right. Sander, you just were attacked by one of these cloaked men. You see that behind you, Holly has dispatched one that was grabbing her. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I missed the first part of what you said there. I was trying to look up something in the book.
Oh, no worries. So one of these cloaked men just tried to attack you, but you managed to deflect it with your quarterstaff. So he's sort of standing right in front of you, and I mean, this guy's close to 7 feet tall. So compared to you, it's like you're fighting a giant. You're at like crotch level, maybe, to this guy.
Mm-hmm. So I am going to basically try to sidestep him a little bit, just using my nimble feet and try to give him a smack in just the stomach. Actually, no, not a smack even, just straight forward with my quarterstaff, hoping to knock the wind out of him. And as I go on his side, I'm also going to just try to give his leg a kick, hoping to see what I can do. Okay, the first one's going to be a hit. The second one's going to be a miss. So the quarterstaff will be for 9 damage.
So you do knock the wind right out of him. You drive this quarterstaff into his gut, and he kind of doubles over but remains standing. You hear wheezing breath come out, and maybe he coughs up a little bit of blood that flecks your face as you just drive this quarterstaff with all of your might into his stomach. Kristoff, there is a large, barbaric-looking woman that has just thrown a dart at Edric. You saw it sink into the wall behind you. What would you like to do?
I would probably... The guy who had my scimitar under his arm, did Edric slay him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and your scimitar just came free. It just slid right out as he fell to the ground.
Awesome. And eyeballing it, how far away would this woman be?
Maybe 15 feet.
Okay. So I would say, Ed, go right. And I would start to sort of back and forth, like run in a zigzag pattern toward this lady. I'm not charging. I'm trying to get her attention and sort of shuck and jive, so to speak. And as I do so, I'm going to go ahead and I'm sort of switching hands with the scimitar, as I'm running. I'm really just trying to be like, hey, 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 hey. And then when I get close enough, I'm actually going to feign a swing, chuck the scimitar into my left hand, and then try to stab her through the shoulder. Just really crazy fancy footwork.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Oops. Drop my D20. Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Nah, man. Look at me. Do I even D&D, Matt? What is that?
Do I even D&D?
All right, that's not bad. So 14. She's still the 12 armor class?
Yep, 12 armor class for all these guys.
All right, so the scimitar, I can feel as though I'm slicing chicken wing. I just feel the tendons and the meat and the skin sort of as her arm drops. It doesn't become cut off, but that whole section that's being held on in the socket just kind of, as she screams in pain and drops the rest of those darts.
Awesome. How much damage was it? Or did you forget
This time,
again?
no, I didn't forget this time. This time it was 5.
5 damage. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right, Edric, your friend Kristoff has just told you to go right, and you see him just kind of bound forward, changing foot to foot with some fancy moves. What would you like to do?
I actually didn't see him. I was sitting there holding, feeling the blood pump through this man's artery, which I had severed, and just trying to hold it in. You'll be all right. 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 Come on. And seeing the life just wink out of his eyes, I just pull my hand away, and just like looking up, he's already, Kristoff is already near this woman, cutting into her, and realizing that, he left Kristoff on his own, just not even paying attention. I run, grabbing my poleaxe. I go running towards this woman. Would I be able to reach this person in time?
Yes, absolutely. She's only about 15 feet away from you and Kristoff.
Okay. Seeing Kristoff now exposed after cutting her once, but like seeing how he's moved his arm, I instinctively take over. I just run up, kind of give a small leap, and then come straight down with the axe of the axe section of the poleaxe. And it basically, as Kristoff cut through the one shoulder, I have just cleaved straight down with the other, and that would be for another 10 damage as I sink the blade. I'm assuming that's kind of like lights out.
That's good night.
It just kind of sinks straight down and almost to like right to the heart. And at this point, I just look and just put my foot out and kick, pulling the blade out, slicing just a little bit further as her body just kind of begins to separate slightly and just fall to the ground. And I'll be looking at Kristoff kind of with a dead look in my eyes.
Go ahead and take a point of inspiration, man. That's awesome. The large man with the halberd who's wielding it one-handed, he's moving through the crowd, and he's sort of killing Bloodguard almost like a distraction. Like if a Bloodguard gets in his way, he'll knock them aside or drive his halberd into them and just keep moving past. It actually looks like he's moving out of the square. He's sort of moving very quickly towards an alleyway. He seems to be trying to escape under the cover of this combat that's going on. Holly, you notice this first as you're kind of keeping your eye on him. It is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Holly is seeing her fellow Bloodguard just cut down. She would feel this kind of rage kind of erupt inside of her. She knows nothing but that this needs to stop. She would find a place where she can be in front of him again, and maybe like, so he would stop and kind of face her, and then she would throw a hand axe at him.
Go for it.
That's 18.
That is definitely a hit.
Awesome. That is 4 points of damage.
The hand axe sinks into this guy, and you see him stagger backwards as the weight of this weapon just thunks right into his shoulder. Ugh. And he looks up and he sees you, and he locks eyes with you, Holly. And when he does, you see that same purple-red light that is sort of just sort of flaming out from his hand. You see that same light flash across his eyes. And he grins and says, "All right." And he kind of charges forward with this halberd towards you. All right, Sander, you knocked this guy. He's doubling over in front of you. But as you're sort of locked in combat, you see this person you know as Rast charge past you and this guy like she's late for something, just charging past with these two hand axes, and you see her sort of disappear into the crowd.
Okay, so this is a female, you're saying?
No, it's Holly that's running past you, charging past you. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So the answer is yes.
Yeah, it is. She's a lady. She's very clearly a lady.
Okay. So I would probably follow her. Yep. I would leave because I'm just thinking what's going on here. And if I have to take an opportunity attack from the one doubled in front of me, I would probably do that.
Yeah, so you'll definitely have to take one unless you use the disengage action, which is, of course, an option if you're not going to do any sort of attacking or anything like that.
In that case, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
So why don't you describe how you manage to avoid this guy? Like, if you're running past him, if you're running through him, like, what do you do to avoid him as he swings at you?
So I am going to slide under his legs.
Awesome. I was so hoping that that's what you were going to do.
Yep. I would imagine I kind of push off. There's a cart or something behind me or a wall, and I just kind of push off with my quarterstaff and slide through, my quarterstaff following behind me.
And you hear the clang of metal as he swings and misses you by a mile with this blade that he has, and he's sort of like, what the hell? Like, didn't even see where you went. And just as in an instant, you're up and charging after Holly, running after her through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I was just going to say it's easy to spot her because of her red hair, but never mind. I'm not going to say that. So that brings us to Kristoff. So Kristoff, I don't know if you were here, Tim, but Edric ran up and killed this woman that you were slicing into, and he's sort of now looking at you with this sort of like 1,000-yard stare, just like blank expression at you.
Listen, her or you, her or me. Look at me, and he kind of listen to me, listen, focus. You're not breathing. Just take a breath. Here's what I want you to think about. This is what I want you to think about. When they trained you to use that pole arm, what did you think it did? Right? You know, this is what you train for, right? And would there be, Mike, would there be an insignia anywhere on him of this army?
Just a kind of a one little slash, and basically just to say like he's a guardsman, third class. So basically, he kind of touches it for a moment, looks at you, and said, "Mr. Kristoff, I never killed nothing with this that what made out of straw before. I just finished training, and it's not the same, is it?"
It's not, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Look at this, and he holds the patch, kind of what you're looking at. Look, that's you, man. You earned that thing. I don't have one. And here's the thing. You tried not to. I'm the one that told you to do it. So if that makes you feel any better, I'm the one who killed her, really. I mean, you were protecting me. You know, because I'm not made of straw either. And I don't want my guts all over the street. And I kind of look at my boot as I'm kind of stepping in her guts all over the street.
You're right.
Let's not stand still. Let's keep moving. Talk to me. Keep talking, but let's not stand here in front of the body.
Okay. What about that big feller over there?
Well, that's probably her boss, and I don't like bosses. So we're gonna steer clear of him. Let's get away.
As Edric points him out to you, Kristoff, you kind of glance over and you see that this huge man is sort of standing there with his fist clenched, and he seems to be squaring off with a woman who's standing there with a hand axe, and you recognize her as the woman that pulled you up off the ground.
Ed? Oh, man. The first thing is, I love my family, and I hate my family. I was raised to return a favor. You don't have to follow me, but I'm going to regret this. And Kristoff starts popping off the metal plates on his armor, and he's got specifically one on his shoulder, like a pauldron, and he sort of like pops it off and lets it just clank on the ground, and he starts removing the sleeves. He has these sort of bracers, and he kind of lets them clink, but he doesn't leave them just to lie. He sort of like tucks them near the corpse so that he can come and get them. And he sort of, all right. And he pulls a bow of elven make that looks old. Almost, it would remind you of what you'd think of if you saw an old musical instrument for some reason, though it's nothing of the make. But it has that sort of personality, that sort of weathered look, like it was passed down. And he grabs the bow, and he sort of... Now, at this point, all of the metal from his armor has been removed. He says, let me see if I can remember how to do this. And he pulls up the bow, and with no arrow in it, he draws back the string, and nothing happens. Come on. I've been really good. I have been really good. Come on, baby. And he pulls back the string, and this time, almost surprisingly, a spark ignites where an arrow would be, and an arrow made of flame appears, and he just says, here we go, and he lets it go. And I am, for the sake of mechanics, casting Produce Flame as a first level druid, and I've removed my metal to do so.
Awesome. Okay, so what is that? How does that work? What are you trying to do here?
So essentially, what I'm trying to do is this spell, this fire spell. If it hits, and I do a spell attack, just like it would be a normal weapon attack, and if it hits, it does 1d8 fire. That's all it does. It's really just a flavored cantrip that shoots fire.
Perfect.
So I don't know if the AC is. I'm sure it's higher, but I rolled a 17, and my spell attack is a 5.
So 22. Yep. Yeah. Definitely.
And that does 1d8 fire if I do hit. So if I hit, that would be 1. Which is fitting, I think.
So I imagine, if you'll let me describe it here, Tim, that you fire this arrow, and it starts out as sort of a very impressive sort of blaze, this flaring arrow, and you fire it out, and as it gets closer, it sort of fizzles a little bit, and by the time it hits this huge tattooed man, it's almost like kind of like a little spiraling little spark. It's almost like a little firecracker just kind of slams into yeah, it kind of slams into the side of his head. And there's a little scorch mark there, and he goes, ugh, and just brushes it aside and kind of looks and locks eyes with you. And you, Kristoff, you see that same purple light sort of flash across his eyes, the same light that Holly has seen. Edric, you just saw your friend. You just saw him produce magic. You may have seen minor magics before, but nothing like this, nothing offensive, nothing with fire. It is your turn.
So I can see as Kristoff is beginning to take, pull all the pauldron off and his greaves off and everything else. Mr. Kristoff, you're no, I think you're supposed to keep your armor on. Mr. Kristoff, what are you? Oh, and just like watching this like back, and as it's almost like producing this flame as it's coming back, and firing it off. It's wow, you can do magic. Oh, and he kind of rushes forward, but then seeing this huge guy turn around and look, realizing I grab the poleaxe and I just kind of get in between. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to kind of like I adopt a defensive position where I have it over top with the axe pointed up, and I'm just going to hold my action until he comes in to attack him, and then I'm gonna do some stuff.
Perfect, man. So at this point, this huge shirtless man tattooed with this black scaly fist, he sort of looks and he realizes he's surrounded. Holly stands in front of him with a hand axe. Sander breaks through the crowd standing behind him, and off to his right he sees Kristoff and Edric. 4 heroes standing against a villain. He sneers. Right then. He slams his fist into the ground and draws a rune burning across the stone with this fist. And he looks up at you, Holly. I am Casimir Strongsong, and I will have vengeance. The ground below him erupts upwards, and a scaled beast comes up from the ground. This purple red lightning crackles in the air as a drake emerges onto the field. This man called Casimir says, "Kill them." And the drake lunges forward, first at you, Holly. It's a 1! What? Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me.
That guy doesn't beat his drake.
Yeah, this thing lunges at you, Holly, and it's sort of not quite out of this hole yet, this summoning hole that Casimir has drawn on the ground. And its tail gets caught, and so it sort of lunges at you, and then gets yanked backwards, and its claws just pass harmlessly, maybe 6 inches in front of your face, as it lunges. It is now your turn, Holly.
She doesn't even flinch. She steps just enough back. She's faced monsters. The Dusk District produces many a husk that tests her, and she's quite good. She gets it from her mother. She will throw the other hatchet, or instead of throwing it, she will embed it into the arm of this beast as it reaches forward. I roll. Oh, man, I am killing it today. I just rolled an 18. That is a 21.
Dang. Okay.
So,
yeah. Absolutely.
6, 7, 7, 8, 9, because it is a finesse weapon. 9 damage.
Okay. 9 damage. Okay.
On the arm of the beast.
Sorry, I lost my stat block. Okay, 9
That's
damage.
right.
Got it.
Cool.
Perfect. All right. That was Holly. It is now Sander. You are standing behind Casimir and this drake that he has just summoned. What would you like to do?
I would. Oh boy, tough choice here. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for the big guy, not the Drake. And so, fist still on the ground, or now standing back, or
say again.
Is this guy's fist still on the ground, or is he now standing up?
He's sort of standing up now. He's just sort of standing beside the Drake. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Then I'm going to. I'm just going to try to give him a good smack in the head, as his. I'm assuming his back is to me, and then a quick elbow to the back.
Awesome, man.
And eventually, I'm hoping my momentum might even carry me on over him, but we'll save that for the next turn. All right, and those are both going to be misses.
Oh, dang.
Rolled a 5 and a 4, so.
Yeah, you sort of come up behind this guy, and you're sort of punching, doing your quarterstaff at him, and you're just hitting air as he sort of spins around and begins dodging your attacks. He's very dexterous for a man of his size. Mm-hmm. All right, Kristoff, you've just seen a man summon what appears to be a giant lizard from the ground. What would you like to do?
So I would probably take a couple of steps back. I would survey what's been going on. Probably take a look at Edric, make sure he's not, doing the 1,000-yard stare again, kind of taking this all in. And when I see that he seems to be at least aware, a little cognizant, sort of say, all right. And I am going to attempt to sort of flank this thing. I'm not looking to get into a fight with the Drake head on. So I'm trying to stay in the periphery without exiting the range at which I could be helpful if someone got in trouble. So what I'd like to do is try to find some carts or some people, or not people, some carts or some bystanders.
I'd like to have a human shield in front of me. I'd like to hold them in front of me.
Is there a small child around here? They make a good buckler out of.
That's got to be at least half cover.
I put my hand through his belt loops and just hold a kid up. No, I'm looking for a lady with a baby. Anyway, so I'm trying to sort of crouch and be in between. I'm imagining these carts have been toppled and there are goods and wares around, and I'm sort of trying to get in a good vantage point. And in fact, as crazy as this sounds, I want to sort of see if I can lay in some of this sort of junk that's been heaped over, lay down and do the laying notch the bow situation.
Cool. So I can say on your turn you can easily find half cover, which will give you +2 to your AC.
Perfect. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I don't know that I don't know if I want to sort of ready in action. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do is have the bowstring pulled back and just kiss it up to Brasswick or whoever. and then
pour one out for Brasswick.
Yeah, and then if any of my allies, these people who I'm perceiving as fighting these enemies, is under duress, especially from the Drake, I'm going to pop off another sort of spell shot.
Okay, cool. So you're readying an action for whenever the Drake injures seemingly one of your allies, you're going to go ahead and take a shot. Okay, cool.
That's what I want to do, yeah.
Perfect. All right, action readied. That was Kristoff. It is now Edric's turn. So, Edric, in the span of about 12 seconds, you've seen magic for the first time twice. What would you like to do?
So, waiting for this rather large individual, thought he was going to come and attack Kristoff. Seeing that his attentions were spanned otherwise, and now seeing an extremely large what only in my mind can picture of as a dragon, as I've never really seen a dragon before. I kind of looking at the Provokers. I kind of look and I look at Eredon Sarachen's face for just a moment, and his grim expression and his eyes, just looking at him, realizing that no, I can do this. I can be an hero. And I go running towards the big guy in an attempt, basically to come down and with the axe and just hack at his leg to try and bring him down to a more me-sized height. That would be a 21 to hit.
That is a hit.
Unfortunately, as I come to bring it down, I don't exactly go straight on. He seems to just move his leg just at the last minute, and it only does 6 points of slashing damage as I just kind of cut through just the part of it. So.
Yeah, and it's definitely not an insignificant hit. He definitely reels from it as the weight of this poleaxe bites into him. But he still remains standing. All right. Casimir turns, and he has this halberd that he's holding in his left hand, and he wheels around with it, and he's going to try and strike you with it, Edric. Oh. But you manage to parry. The Drake, now free of the summoning circle that was drawn on the ground, is lunging again at Holly. And this time it does hit, dealing 4 piercing damage as its jaws constrict around Holly's outstretched arm holding this hand axe. Now, that triggers your readied action, Kristoff. You see the Drake lunge and attack Holly. You're able to do your action now.
Perfect. Similarly to Produce Flame, there is this sort of, it's like a globule of, you know what it looks like? Here comes the anachronism. You know, in Undiscovered Country, the Klingon blood in Zero Gravity?
Yeah.
It's like that, but green. Right? Of course. So it's like that, but green. And so it just sort of forms there like, and then, and this is actually poison spray. So similarly, this is just, it's a D12 poison damage. Now this is different. You get to make a save against this. So it's a 13 is what you're trying to overcome.
Dex?
Yes.
Okay, he makes it with a 16.
Okay. So I think similarly to your first description, I think it loses potency as it gets closer, and I almost see it evaporating. You know, like, so it just doesn't even hit. It just evaporates.
Yeah. Awesome. I love those spell descriptions, man. Okay, Holly, you're up. A Drake has just bit your arm. What would you like to do?
I imagine the ground underneath Holly is kind of like tumbling inward, and she's trying to stand back to not fall into this seemingly bottomless pit, but this Drake has her arm and is pulling her towards it. And it's the arm with the hatchet in there. So she is going to take her palm, and she's going to try to force it into the back of the hatchet to pry it out, because her fist is just clenched so tightly around it because of this maw that's forcing it down. She's going to try to shove it out and perhaps hit the Drake with the side of the axe. So I'm gonna take a disadvantage since I'm being grappled.
All right, Tim, go for it.
So,
no, I'm kidding. I was making a joke, Tim.
dude, I was about to go for it.
I think he's making a joke because I went for a long time.
He said, "No, I made a joke because you willingly took disadvantage," and so I said, "All right, Tim."
I see. I was like, bro, that wasn't Tim. You want so I think
Tim's
back
always
when
like,
I was
I'm gonna
8-year-old
take
girl.
disadvantage and damage myself if I miss.
Yeah, can I? Would you be okay if I lost all my equipment? I mean, I just gotta throw that out there, put it on the
Real
table.
quick. It just burns up in a nearby fire accidentally. No, I thought you meant you were going to let me re-roll with advantage because literally was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I was like, oh, since the turns were commingled, like a ready action, I was like, hell yeah, I'll get it.
I'm down with it. No.
I'm reverse Timming.
I rolled a 7, so that's a 10.
Okay, so not quite good enough to.
Nope.
The blow connects with this thing. I mean, it's hard to not hit it. It's the size of a warhorse, but it just glances off this thing's scale. It has a really tough, almost metallic hide.
All right.
Sander, that brings us to you, man.
I think the last thing Holly would do, by
my
the way, is
turn, or are you
look to
making a
Sander.
joke?
Oh no, I don't think so. I think the last thing Holly would do is actually look to Sander and look at that quarterstaff as she's being dragged into this pit by the drake.
Mm-hmm. Right. So if I can get around the gigantic humanoid, I try to basically what I'd like to do is try to smack this this drake straight on the head. I've never seen anything like this, but I see a head, and I'm going for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm smacking the head, and then I'm basically going to try to carry my momentum forward, and I'm going to try to give it a kick in the head to follow it up with a kick, just pointing right down like a dart with all of my 70 pounds or whatever. So I rolled a 24 and a 19.
Both hit.
Okay. And that is going to be a total of, not a ton, but 7 damage. No, I'm sorry, 10 damage.
10 damage. Okay. You see some of the scales on this thing's head actually crack as you come into it with your staff. You have such momentum and strength behind this attack, and you see it kind of shake its head a little bit as you've sort of dazed this creature by just walloping it on the head. It's almost like if you've ever had your ears boxed. Like this thing was just caught completely off guard when you came back and hit it in the back of the head, and it's sort of completely lets go of any grasp it has on Holly. Let's see. Kristoff, you're up.
Now realizing that this drake is not susceptible to my powerful acidic spells, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do the... And I get up realizing that my magic probably isn't potent enough at this point to do anything from this distance. Hoping that it was. It's not. So I get up, and what I'm going to try to do is, am I in a position to where I could use my move to get behind them as they're going and doing this skirmish?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to sort of get behind them, and my intent is, as this thing's tail is just, I'm sure, flapping around, I'm going to try to sort of... I'm trying to cut the tip off this thing's tail, just to get its attention, to get it to leave, to do whatever. And so that is, and I'm going to be smart this time and roll the damage with the d20, like a good player. Oh, nice. Nat 18. So I don't know what the new armor class is, but that would hit.
That's definitely a hit, yeah.
All right, and 6 damage.
So, Kristoff, you actually managed to kill the drake. Go ahead and describe it.
I am sort of trying to get a beat on the thing's tail. And I take this deft chop, and as it's skirmishing with Holly, it backs into my sword. And I accidentally sort of get this thing right in the meaty part of its underbelly. And surprisingly, as I swoop across, hoping to cut through as though it were a piece of fruit, I actually dig deep, and it sort of splits and begins to spill out and immediately stinks.
And as soon as you do this, Casimir, you see kind of a flash of fear across his face as he sees the drake just and sort of slump over with its insides spilling out across the stone. And he sort of looks at the 4 people who are now surrounding him. and he speaks a few words, and there's a flash of purple light punctuated by red lightning that sort of arcs out in all directions. You see him disappear and then reappear about 60 feet on the other side of the square. He immediately unfurls his cloak, throws it over his head, and darts into the nearest alleyway. You all are looking around, and you see that the battle is starting to subside. Most of the men and the women who have been dispatching the Blood Guard have been dropped to the ground or otherwise taken captive. You see that there's at least a dozen Blood Guard lying dead on the ground, and even more people injured, crying out for help, bleeding into the street. It's a scene of carnage and devastation, a bleak moment in an otherwise joyous day. And the blood that was thrown on the Provoker statue continues to drip into the water around it, turning it an even more deeper scarlet red. What would the four of you like to do?
So as we're standing there, I'd like to think that to an onlooker, maybe it was one of the Blood Guards that has made it. They look on and they see these four figures, and with weapons drawn, heaving and panting, with a dead Drake in the center, they stand together, and the soft focus of the guard, who's still probably going to be unconscious here shortly from a wound, his focus sort of fixes on those four, and then they sort of take a soft focus as he fixes on the Provokers. And there's a lot of eerie similarity there as he goes unconscious. And Christoph sort of just, Ed, buddy?
Yes, Mr. Christoph. I'm here.
Oh, thank God.
You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm great.
Oh, good. I don't have no healing kits or nothing, but maybe we could try and help some of these people.
Yeah, that is a solid idea. That is one thing we can do.
Right.
You, and he points to Holly. He says, "We're even."
She looks to Christoph with kind of a perplexed face, and noticing him kind of chuckles a little bit, and under her breath says, "Accordance Day."
I think that's a perfect time for a break. We're just going to take a couple minutes here, use the bathroom, get something to drink, and then we will be back. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We're kind of fluctuating between 100 and 120 viewers, which is amazing. Yeah, we'll be right back. Stick around, everybody.
Hey guys, what's going on? Season 2, huh? This is pretty crazy. I can't even tell you how stoked I am about this. Alright, I gotta go. Hey, what's up guys? This is Chater, and this is the Provokers Season 2. Try our Bleakwrath nachos!
Hello, everybody. My name is Barker from the YouTube channel Be a Better Game Master. And I have returned first from the break. Oh, shoot. Nate's back. Well, that was a great 6 seconds.
You beat me to it. I was like, well, I was here, and then I was trying to like figure out, oh, I gotta unmute my camera. I gotta like say hi. I just had the people to myself. This is gonna be awesome. And then you show up, Barker. So
Yep. And I ruined it.
you ruined my fun.
Cheeseburger pizza makes me feel so good.
My God.
That's a jingle.
It is. I just wrote it during the
Nice.
break. I was like, I'm gonna write a jingle to come back with.
Baby, corrupt me. I got a
Some
cheeseburger
cheeseburger
pizza.
pizza.
No, cheeseburger pizza. Don't you want to eat some?
Baby, come with me.
Baby, corrupt me.
I had that stuck in my head for like a week.
Me too, man.
I keep
I've been
walking around the
walking
house. I'm like, baby, corrupt me. I'm doing the laundry.
It's good.
I've been doing the Hearts of Iron 4 Let's Plays on the channel. And so I'm walking around singing Sabaton heavy metal about, a D-Day invasion of Normandy. Incredible. Heather's like, you need to stop.
So Matt, I felt super distracted when we first went into combat because I was like, I messed up my character. I just totally screwed this up. And I was like, I don't know if you saw me in the chat, but people were helping me build my character in the chat. Just kidding.
Isn't that the best when the chat's like, hey, by the way, you did this, and this wrong. You're like, hell. I tried, guys.
No, but I actually did mess up. So we got to the bottom of it together.
Oh, cool. That's great.
Thanks, everybody. I thought
Chat
it was
is always
like,
very helpful.
my quarterstaff was like using my dex, and I was like, it's a strength weapon. Oh no! But then I'm a monk, so it worked out.
Yep,
okay.
so monks are different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly as a holly catchphrase. I was thinking she's going to be like, she's going to be like Sawyer from Lost. She's just always going to have a nickname for people
I love it.
or something. That's what I want to do.
What are you eating, Barker?
I'm eating chicken that Heather made, chicken breast with like a barbecue sauce on
Ooh,
top
nice. Looks good.
with beans and rice.
I am eating a Chipotle beef and pork stick.
Dude, I love, like, beef sticks. Oh, my God.
Hell yeah, dude. Meat's just
They're
meat
just,
sticks.
like, pure salt, and they're so good. I went through about 2 years, like, I think this was during college. I was, like, addicted to teriyaki pepperoni sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I would get the big bag of them at Costco, and I would go through the entire bag in, like, a week. It was ridiculous. I was thirsty all the time because my sodium intake was just ridiculous. It was like, not only is it that cured meat sodium, but it was also like the soy sauce that was in those the teriyaki beef sticks. Oh my God, it was ridiculous.
We got those a couple of times from Costco when I was growing up. I remember those.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah. That's a problem with Costco. It's like you get these like amazing deals
Yeah.
on stuff, but you just eat way more expensive stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's like, they have this Asian snack mix at Costco that has like, I don't even know how to explain it. I try to explain it to people and I can't do it justice. But it's like, it's an Asian snack mix that has like wasabi peas and like rice crackers and stuff in it. I can eat that until I explode. It's just so good, and it's like the perfect, like, it's got salty, it's got that savory, it's just, oh my God, it's so good. Now it's like I'm older and I'm trying to like watch what I eat. I say as I eat a cheeseburger pizza, but like I'm in line at the grocery store, and you know they always have like the pepperoni sticks and stuff in line at the store, like the Slim Jims, and I always just look wistfully at them like I really want one, but I'm not gonna get one. I haven't eaten one of those in a couple years at this point.
Yeah, I didn't buy this. Stephanie bought 3 of them randomly, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
I get a lot of salt from playing Overwatch. Overwatch makes me salty.
It's funny.
Oh yeah, Mike said
Funny because it's true.
it's homemade cheeseburger pizza, which makes it better. That is true. This is my wife made this for me, so it's better than like going to Pizza Hut and getting a cheeseburger pizza at Pizza Hut.
Yep.
Hey, someone's asking for non-Americans. What the shit is a cheeseburger pizza?
Okay, so a cheeseburger pizza is it's a pizza, and instead of marinara, it has ketchup. It's got the cheese on there, and normally it has ground beef. Usually has onions on there. We made it with green peppers, and this one has bacon on it, which I've never had bacon on a cheeseburger pizza, and it is like, oh, that just taking it to the next level. And then also I'm a big fan of putting pickles on it afterwards. So it's just everything that would normally be on like a cheeseburger you put on a pizza instead, and it's a lot better than it sounds. I'll just say that. Really, really tasty. It's very similar to like if you've ever had like a taco pizza. Taco pizza is really good too.
Now, what condiments did you throw on your cheeseburger pizza?
It's got ketchup and mustard on it.
Baller, dude, that's exactly what I would do. I would throw a little relish in the middle, like a pool. That's what I would do.
Pull a relish right there.
Oh, God. Dude, relish is one of those things I hated as a kid, and I love it as an adult, like onions.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I still don't like is mushrooms.
I don't like mushrooms either. I'm really good at cooking mushrooms, but I don't like the texture of them. They're even perfectly cooked, they still taste rubbery to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind the flavor of mushrooms. It's more about the texture of it. They always taste kind of slimy to me, I guess.
Taco pizzas, man, that is just ravaging cultural food around the earth into just
it's just
some
like,
sort of American. give us your tired, give us your hungry.
It's the Jeff Goldblum from The Fly of food. Just like this isn't even a thing anymore.
That's like one of those things that you eat while watching Idiocracy, and you stop and go, "Oh damn!
Oh, what am I doing?
What am I doing?" I just ate all this way too fast, so I'm gonna burp up chicken.
Dude, that's what I did. I ran downstairs and ate. I realized I didn't eat anything. I was like, man, I'm hungry.
Tim, come over and have some cheeseburger pizza, man. There's like 4 slices left out there.
Matt, I would murk all that. I would stack it on top of each other and eat it like cheeseburger pizza sandwich.
He would do that. He's
A
not
cheeseburger
lying.
pizza sandwich.
No, that's a cheeseburger pizza burger.
A cheeseburger. It's like the have you guys ever seen the Oreos that are the Oreo Blizzard Oreos?
No.
No.
Wait, what?
So,
Isn't
coming
that
back
just an
around.
Oreo?
It's the movie of the ride of a movie.
Oh man.
I gotta Google that now.
It may have been. Wait, okay. I can't remember if it was. I think it was Blizzard. Hang on. Oreo, Blizzard. I'm gonna watch the viewer count just go down. Blizzard.
You're right. It is.
Oreos. Is that
This is
what
dwindling.
it, dude?
It's like
How ridiculous, right? And
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
okay, there's like little bits of cookie in the cream, but I'm like, really, Queen? Come on, like no way. That's just an Oreo.
That's like if I made chocolate chip cookies and in the chips there was little bits of cookie.
oh my god. No, my favorite thing that chocolate companies are doing now is they're doing like a Godiva fluff or Godiva air, and it has like we've infused air pockets, air bubbles into the chocolate. And it's like, so you're giving me less chocolate.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
You're charging me more. That's like puffing up the bag of Lay's potato chips to look like a balloon, but putting like 9 chips in there.
So you open it up and you're like, what the hell?
What, man?
I could have got a little bag and got the same amount of chips.
I hate community college.
What?
I was back in I ate a lot of chips at community college, so I was
You're
back
done.
in C&M Da Nang just then.
I just picture a young Barker opening up a bag of chips and going, oh man, I hate community college.
And then you hear
Everything sucks.
and then you hear in the background as the choppers come in and the napalm strikes.
Some folks are
Did you go to
born
community
made
college?
to wave the flag.
No.
Ooh, that red, white, and blue.
Oh man, no, I was back in Tim. I was saying I was back
I
in
get it.
9 potato chip Da Nang. You were
I know.
acting like you didn't know. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat this last piece of chicken, even
Oh,
though my
boy.
body doesn't want it.
Oh, your body.
My mind's telling me no, but my body. All right, enough of me singing songs. I think we should get back into it if you guys are ready.
I don't know. I paid for an hour and a half of this concert. I want to get my damn money's worth. So come on now.
The show's starting. Matt's singing. He's singing Creedence Clearwater. We got to get up there. All right. Hang on. What is this? Tim sent me a link. Second greatest dwarf in Erenoth. I'm going to share this. Hang on. Let me screen share before we go live here.
Burn.
All right. Wait, where did
Oh.
the screen go? 1 second. Sorry.
Ooh, Matt. I don't know.
Second greatest dwarf in Erenoth.
That was Dustin Mayfield who made that.
That's amazing.
Love it.
Can I just say that I think one of my favorite moments of the session so far, of the campaign so far, was when Edric asked Christoph what his favorite provoker was, and Christoph said, "I don't know, the dwarf. Which one's the dwarf?" like talking to your mom about Pokemon or something. What's the one that looks like the mouse? I like that one.
Yeah, Ray Tata.
That
Yeah,
one's
that one.
my favorite. Oh boy.
Ray Tata, Ray Liotta, the Pokemon from Goodfellas. All right.
Oh, I missed this. Okay. So, a quiet settles over Accordance Square as the gravity of what has just happened here on Accordance Day begins to sink in. Bloodguard reinforcements arrive, called from every corner of the city. The remaining people of Gavalt are rounded up, shackled, carted off to the Crimson Tower, the headquarters of the Bloodguard. Through the crowd, a tall man strides forward, resplendent in well-maintained crimson leather armor. He's wearing a cloak and heavy pauldrons, and the badge on his chest denotes him as the captain of the Bloodguard. He surveys the carnage with a stoic face, and then comes forward as he spots Holly. He has a long sword at his side. The beard on his face is graying, his face lined and weathered. His ears have a point to them. His eyes have a bit of a almond shape. He's half-elven. He comes forward. Rast, you all right?
Better than ever. You?
This is not how I thought this day was going to go. The sergeant over there told me that you squared off against the leader. What can you tell me about him?
She kind of slams this hatchet into its kind of noose at her belt and says, well, I don't know, why don't you take a look at some of the bodies that are around here? And she looks at some of the other Gavalt people, I believe. And she says, he was big, but he was human, sort of.
He was a drudge, is what you're telling me. A man of Gavalt.
He was a man of Gavalt.
And he uses drudge, this sort of slang term for the people of Gavalt that live in Falhast. He, for the first time, takes note of the other three people standing around you, Holly. And he says, and you are? He looks specifically to Edric, notes the uniform. Aldemiri.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm Edric Meadows. Guardsman third class, and he kind of points to his of the Aldemiri Guard, here on part of the Accordance Day, sir.
Easy, son. I'm not your commanding officer. You can stand at ease.
Yes, sir.
Funny how he stands at attention and you don't, Rast. He kind of gives you a sideways glance.
They say you're only supposed to salute your superiors.
Mm-hmm. He looks at Sander, arches a brow. I recognize your garb. Sonnegeist?
Yes, that is correct. I am of the Unscorched.
The name is not unfamiliar to me, but I'm not sure as to the origin of your clan. What are you doing here in Falhast?
I have come to see a friend at the archives. I had forgotten it was the celebration, but I am sorry for what appears to have happened here.
And you? I do not recognize your garb. He looks to Kristoff.
I'm just here for Accordance Day. I'm from out of town. I'm with Ed here.
He saved my life, you'll hear Holly say, as she picks up her crossbow.
Yeah, the sergeant told me that all four of you performed exceedingly well during the battle, kept your heads about you, and personally dispatched 6 or 7 of the drudges. Rast, I'd like you to report to the Crimson Tower at midday. I'm taking you off the Black Blood, so you have a new assignment.
What?
Before you cop an attitude. It's a special assignment, Rast, one that you're exceedingly suited to.
If it involves a kitchen, I'll kill you.
I'm not putting you back in the kitchen. You did your time. You've earned your place. It's not a demotion, it's a reassignment. Unless you'd like to continue patrolling the Dust District day after day.
I know it's nice there. Where am I gonna be? Where am I gonna be sleeping?
All in due time. Bring your friends with you. I have an offer for them as well. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a dozen men and women to bury, and I need to inform families. Keep your heads down for the next couple of hours. I'll see you at midday, Rast.
Midday.
He stalks off. He's flanked by a couple of sergeants, and they begin surveying the carnage, looking at the statue with the blood dripping off of it. And the 4 of you are left to your own devices.
Holly would look to Sander and say, well, it looks like you're free, and then looks at your short stature and says, man, are you going to the archive or not?
I suppose I should at some point during my visit here. Free, you say? Well, thank you for that, and for an interesting visit so far. I'm quite curious about your new assignment. What do you think it would be?
Oh, hopefully something where I don't have to take stupid questions all day. But we won't know till midday.
Perhaps I will delay my visit to the archives until later tonight or even tomorrow.
And she just begins kind of sitting down and quietly wrapping her arm.
Now, Christoph, you actually recognize Sander. He showed you the front gate today when you arrived in Falhast and then quickly departed. But even though his veil is down, you recognize the tattoos on his face and realize it must be the same man that helped you into Falhast earlier today.
Hey. Fancy meeting you here.
Yes, it is a pleasure to see you again, my friend.
Yeah.
I see you found your way, and, well, I'm sure everyone appreciates the help.
Hey, it's thanks to you. Some of those guides out there, they were charging me double what you were asking. And I thought for sure I'd just settle for you because you're half the price. And if you got me even close enough to where I could see the gates, I'd be fine. But you brought me closer than they were going to for half the price. I'm not saying I trust you, but I trust you.
Well, I pride myself on being trustworthy. But, what is your business?
I'm here on family stuff.
I see.
Yeah, it's, family. Can't live with them.
I wouldn't know. But my
Right.
order is my family.
Well, sure, you get it though, right? You argue with them and you love them, right? But sometimes you can't stand them too.
Yeah, I suppose. And who's your friend here?
Oh, this? This is 6'5" of raw sweetheart. This is Ed.
Hello, I'm Edric. It's nice to meet you. And I kind of just put a meaty paw out. What's your name, Mr.
Sander Denara. And I put out my tiny hand, and it gets swallowed up very quickly.
And I just shake. You almost feel like your arm is like just getting almost torn off. Hello, Mr. Stander. It's nice to meet you. You sure are handy with that little stick there you got, but that's really impressive. Twirling it around and smacking bigger folk like that.
And Sander just kind of takes a step back, and he has a skeptical smile on his face, like, kind of, is this guy for real?
And I would, sorry.
No, you go.
And I would probably walk up to Holly. Hello, miss. My name is Edric. Are we to follow you now?
Well, I suppose so. We have to be back here by midday, or we receive our mission at midday.
I don't. Now here, that's Ed. I'm sorry. And okay, Ed, what do you mean we? We're not going to. You owe me a drink. Remember? I think we're gonna just get going, and she's gonna get her mission. And I don't understand. Let's you and me. We.
But what do you mean? We were just tasked with a special mission. I mean, and I just kind of point at the statue. Just ignoring the fact that it is now just like dripping with, becoming like coagulated blood, just kind of like just dripping into this fountain. How do you think all the great stories start with them?
Oh, and Christoph looks at himself and sort of pats himself down and he goes, "Yeah, no Falhast military insignia. Let me see. Hold on. Nope. Still no. I don't have a special mission. This nice young lady does." And we're even, by the way.
She'll look at you, and kind of you'll see her kind of noticeably scoff when Edric mentions the Provokers. It all starts with them, and she'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, he's one of those. Great," and she'll look at you and curiously ask, "What family are you here to see?"
I'm not here to see family per se. I'm here to do something for my family. They're not from around here.
Okay, well, at the very least, you're going to have to be questioned by the Blood Guard. You're a witness, and they're going to want to talk with you, and they're not going to want you to basically go until that's done. So once that's finished, I'm sure they'll be perfectly fine letting you go off on your merry way, doing whatever it is you do with your magical arrows.
Okay. When is this going to happen? I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, but
let the record show, and she announces to the street corner that we will be receiving our mission at midday. Midday, just so everybody's clear.
All right. No need to snap.
I want a drink. You get bit by a drake. You both say that at the same time, I suppose. That's awesome. And she'll laugh and kind of nod.
Well, I'm glad we're all getting along so splendidly here.
Oh, well, by the way, what's your name, miss?
Rast.
Oh, well, Miss Rast, my friend Mr. Christoph here did just lay a dragon. Perhaps a drink is in order. Apparently I owe him a drink. I don't remember why, but I'm going to buy him a drink, and well, we all fought, so why don't you come, and then I have to owe you a drink too, and we'll all drink together, in a tavern.
She'll look at Christoph and say, "How old is he?"
Says he's 17. I'm thinking 15 max.
I was going to say 14.
Yeah, it's the face, right? Like, not a hair on there.
How does he shave so close?
I don't know. As he kind of rubs his stubble. You drink, Sandy?
Actually, I don't. But I'll come along.
Hey, maybe I can talk you into it.
I take my vows very seriously, but we shall see.
Yeah, man, me too. Me too.
So you guys are going to head to the nearest tavern then?
I'd say, yeah. I'd kind of look around like we're all trying to pick a restaurant to go to. Like, who knows this place? And
Mexican, Chinese, what do you guys feeling?
Yeah. And in fact, I think...
Let's not go to that roasted meat place. Let's go to the other one. It's way better.
Well, I actually think that's where you make a really good point, Matt. I think I would probably realize that Holly lives here and knows where the tourist traps are and knows where the good hooch is for decent price. And he would. So Christoph would look at Holly and say, "Where's your favorite place to get a drink around here?"
She looks at you and kind of smirks silently, and then you'll hear the sound of ruckus roaring as the scene changes into this bar made out of black wood paneling. It's called the Blackboard Tavern, and it's 95%, we'll say, officers of the Black Bloods or the Blood Guard, and the orders and lots of different writing is on the walls, written in chalk on these kind of different chalkboards, blackboards that are placed around the room. So menus are there and everything like that. And it's just rowdy as hell. It's basically all these officers are off duty.
and the place is lit with gaslight lanterns. Falhast has natural gas deposits underneath it, and it's carried up into the city with these pipes. And so most of the buildings in Falhast are lit with these gaslight lanterns. The four of you are sitting at this table in this raucous tavern with the off-duty blood guards, and it's particularly a buzz tonight because everyone is talking about the attack in the square. Who was responsible? It was those damn drudges. No, I heard it was something else entirely. I heard it was supporters of the corruptor. They strike on the 20th anniversary of his death, and everyone's just rumors are flying wildly. And the four people who were actually there are sort of sitting on their own at this table in the corner.
It's quite lively in here.
No, you're not gonna die in here. It's perfectly safe.
No. It's quite hello, miss. I just kind of wave for a server to come around.
This woman stops by the table. What can I get you, love?
Oh, hello. May I please have a round of ales? Oh, and maybe a water for our small friend here.
Are they on your tab, Rast?
Oh, I'm paying. I am me.
Oh, someone who pays. What a nice change of pace. She kind of throws a dirty look at Holly and says, don't think I'm going to let you skip out on your tab again just because it's a Corden stay. And she toddles off to get the drinks.
So this means we're square, right? I bought you that drink.
Yeah, no, this is a great start.
Oh, excellent, Mr. Kristoff. Why did I have to buy you a drink anyway?
Because you saved my life. Anyone who saves my life, I make them buy me a drink. It's just that's how we do it where I'm from.
Oh, well, where are you from?
I'm from some mountains over yonder.
Well, I know a lot of people don't call me the smartest person, but the Western Southlands have a lot of mountains. Matter of fact, there's a lot of mountains all over the place. Anywhere in particular? I mean, like up north or where?
He doesn't want to tell you who he is, kid.
Oh, right, Miss Rast. Sorry, Mr. Kristoff. Well, I hope wherever you're from, you're able to at least find what you need here.
Thank you. So, is it always as boring around here?
If you wanted entertaining, you should have specified. I came here because I drink for free.
Yeah, I heard. I heard. Oh.
Yeah, don't you have a tab to pay off? I mean,
well, with the new assignment and all, it's I don't know. I might just have to wait till we get back.
Yeah, what's a black blood?
She kind of laughs. We patrol the Dusk District, and we lost a lot of good people today.
Yeah. Yeah, what was that? What was that all about? Who was that guy?
She just shrugs.
Sandy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, the big guy, with the pet dragon. You know who that was?
Never seen him before in my life. I'm looking really nervous. I'm just kind of realizing like I'm the only person of my stature in here, I think, and feeling a little out of place among these kind of big, gruff folk, and I just kind of trail off.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know who he was. I don't know why he was here. Obviously, something to do with Accordance Day. Obviously, something to do with Ed. The Provokers.
Well, did you hear his name?
I was a little busy, man.
He said his name was Casimir, but Casimir Strongsong. You know,
Yeah.
from the stories.
Go on.
Well, and the Provokers did ride down stone rifts, thunderous elevator of doom. The more Gevalt were jumping in left and right, and then followed by the great and powerful warrioress Strongsong. She was the corruptor's right hand man. And they fought, and it looked like it was almost going to be done for them. But then they prevailed, thanks to their strength of art and character. And then
I couldn't keep it together either. Thank you.
well, it's true. It's true. Well, they did. They fought, and the elevator came down, and it almost smashed to pieces. But at the last moment, no, it's true. It's true. At the last moment, Brasswick kept them all up and saved their lives. And at the end, Una Strongsong, she was going to fight them hand to hand in single combat, but the Provokers had a clear head, and they said they were going to spare her life, but she was killed.
Here's the thing. I believe you, and I'm sure we all believe you, but I was here the day Falhast was attacked by the corruptor. I was here, and I know 19 names of 19 different people that I loved that are no longer here, and they don't have statues. So I've had enough of Accordance Day.
Fenton Meadows. Fenton Meadows.
Who's that, man?
He's my cousin. During the siege at Aldemir, he was sent to the wall. And we didn't have the poleaxes we have now. We had spears. And a moment before, he had a hoe in his hand, and he was out plowing the fields when they called him up to the wall. Because the westward wall was fallen. And there were bat riders and all sorts of manner of horrible things that the corruptor was trying to throw at us. And he went to the wall. In 15 seconds. That's how long he lived. He got up on the wall and was promptly hit in the chest with a bolt. He fell off the wall. His corpse was trampled. Sure, maybe he wasn't strong like the Provokers or nothing like that. And he lived almost meaninglessly, but those people, they're not going to build statues of, sure. But I built a statue for him in here. And I honor his memory.
You see,
And
you just see Holly nod in understanding, and probably touch your shoulder and say that instead of statues, that we'd just have to carry these people's memories with us, so that they never die. And but then she goes quiet. She's kind of realized she's crossed a line.
And Sander would speak up here and say, I do not really understand the custom of building statues. People have memories they want to hold, or I don't know. But for a people who build statues and monuments, from what I've heard of these Provokers, they seem They seemed like ones to build statues of. For people who do such things. And I kind of pat Edric on the back.
Well, I think we all have a chance to be greater than we are. Sure, I'm just some kid who traded a scythe and a plow for Pollux, and I just kind of thump it, and you don't even realize the weight of it until you actually hear it like this, right onto the wood. And you know what? Sometimes I think to myself, as I was hearing stories in the Queen's Respite Tavern in Aldemir, I would think to myself, I can be better than I am. I can be stronger than I am. I don't have to live on a farm and just and hoe. My dad always used to tell me, son, you can grow your own gold. Don't have to go out adventuring or no fighting or nothing. And he was right. I mean, Aldemir prospered in a way that I can't even imagine. There were so many starving, so many injured people. But I mean, there was still a lot of evil in men's hearts. People were charging 5 silver for one apple. And I wanted to fight against that. I didn't want to be just some farmer trying to make money off the empty bellies of people who were starving to death and begging. So I wanted to be like the Provokers. I wanted to be a good person with a strong heart and be part of something greater than myself. And maybe this one simple special assignment, some place that we can go, maybe that'll be part of it. And maybe for one moment, we can feel like we're part of something bigger.
You are, man.
I know, probably because I'm really tall, but
what was his name? I missed your cousin's name. I wasn't really paying attention when you started, but you made me think.
Fenton.
Yeah,
Fenton Meadows.
You did him proud today. Those people, the people that you were worried about killing, they're the same ones that marched on these walls. The blood in their veins was the same as the blood in the veins of the people that put a bolt in your cousin's chest. You ask me, it was redemption. You didn't kill anybody.
I think I kind of did the Provokers a bit of a disservice. I was terrified. I was scared. I didn't even want to kill no one. I don't know.
Where are those drinks? Am I right?
As you say that, the waitress is kind of working her way through the crowd. She drops off a tray of drinks, drops an ale in front of the three of you, and then kind of slides a tankard of water over to Sander and nods to him. And she says, well, it appears drinks are on the house, boys. Someone's paid for your tankards.
Oh. I promise I'll pay you back once I get back from...
No, I'm being serious, Rast. It was strange fellow over in the corner over there. He offered to pay for your drinks. Said that you did well in the square today, whatever that means. So enjoy. And she kind of saunters off.
Kristoff slides the drink away from him and looks around the room because he doesn't want to owe anybody anything.
You sort of scan the crowd a little bit. You see a few faces kind of glance towards you, but then you hone in on this cloaked figure kind of slumped in the corner, cradling kind of like a warm drink, and the face turns to you and you see one golden eye, and it raises the drink and turns its head back.
Nope. Slides it away. I'm going to need a drink.
Edric would probably be sitting there still holding some silver. Wait, but I'm... But... oh, right.
Holly, you know this guy?
Would Holly recognize this person?
You know, I'm going to leave that up to you. This is a creature that tends to get around.
Is this Keenra?
It is.
I'm imagining I saw Keenra when did I catch a glimpse?
Yeah, you immediately recognize this as the creature that ordered the husk to go after you, Sander.
Okay. Then I would tell Holly, this is one who was pursuing me earlier. I don't trust this individual.
So Holly would pick up the 3 ales and the tankard of water and carry it over to Keenra's table and set all 4 drinks in front of Keenra there and say, "Hope you're thirsty, Keenra." And she walks back to the table, or slowly starts to walk back to the table.
Keenra sort of wraps his knuckles on the table and looks up, and you see that reptilian, scaly face look up at you with one eye scarred shut. So nice to see you, Holly. Just trying to be friendly to the new people here in Valhast.
Friendly, man. That's a new you. What got you started? Was it a girl?
Turning over a new leaf. Things are changing, Holly Rast. Things are changing. It pays to have friends. He takes a drink of the hot drink. You see his hand is shaking slightly.
It pays to stay out of the Dusk District.
What would give you the idea that I would be in the Dusk District?
Was that cough something that she might recognize as being common?
In the years that you've known him, it's progressively gotten worse.
Okay, cool. She motions to the table and says, "Well, I'm sure if you have anything to say to my to those people, then I'm sure they would love for you to come over here and say it to yourself."
And a sneer kind of pulls his lips back away from his yellowed fangs, and he says, "Not that friendly, Holly. Not yet." Happy Accordance Day.
She walks back to the table and explains who Keenra is to the other 3. She would explain that he's kind of a grifter and that they have a hard time catching him breaking any laws, but everywhere he goes, people are left without money, without items. So it's just, but there's nothing, you can't really pin it on him because all he's doing is selling favors for favors.
Yeah, I know the type. Sandy, you know this guy? Looks like he eats babies.
What exactly are you saying here?
I mean, it's just a phrase. I'm saying. I'm not.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you were. Okay, never mind.
Everyone around here is really literal. I have to remember that.
I suppose so. But yes, this individual is one who sent a husk after me. 'Tis the reason I ran into Rast here.
What's a husk? What is that?
It's well, a hollow shell of what it used to be, I suppose.
It's a creature. It's a man. It's a thing.
It can be many things, but it is never quite alive. I believe common folk often call them undead, but still intelligent in some ways.
So he tried to off you before. He's just sitting 30 feet away from us, and he tried to kill you before?
I don't know about killing, but and you would notice the cup in my hand is my grip is just really tight around it. I'm trying to act natural.
The waitress comes back with a new round of drinks and says, "Somebody has to pay for these." She drops them off. "I don't care who does, but just somebody has to pay for the liquor I'm bringing you, okay? Yes,
how much?
big man. 2 silvers apiece, please. The water's free."
Here's 5. Thank you.
She takes the silvers and says, 6 silvers, honey, 2 apiece.
Wait. Oh, 2 each. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 more silver.
She takes it, says, "Thank you," and wanders off.
She seems really nice.
Yeah, I imagine everyone does to you.
Well, not that
So-
not that secretive fellow. He sounds like a villain to me.
Yeah. Is it midday?
It's getting there. Yeah, getting close.
And so Kristoff would be nursing his drink, slowly sort of nursing his drink. He'd say, "So, I haven't been to Accordance Day, and gosh, I was just a kid. We came here with them. We came here with my brother. I gotta take a piss." And Kristoff stands and goes to walk to just find somewhere else.
Well, that was odd.
Should we follow him?
Certainly not.
Oh. Well, if it's getting close to where we have to go, Miss Rast, we should probably get there going.
And as you say that, you can see that she's actually lacing up a boot, and she mentions that there's one spot that she wants to. She just needs to make one stop before they go to the place where they are going to get their mission. She just has to pick up some things.
Well, I think we should go. Are you ready, Mr. Sander?
There is no mister. But yes.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, we just got to wait for Mr. Kristoff, and then we'll be ready to go, right? Or we could maybe carry on now, and maybe he could catch up.
Something tells me he'll find us.
Oh.
And Kristoff sort of walks up and goes, "I'm not taking a piss in this officer's bar. It's dirtier than the floor. I'll find somewhere else to piss. Come on."
So the 4 of you leave the blackboard, and Holly, you are leading them through Falhast. Where are you going?
So I would lead them to a small quarters, just kind of near the wall, kind of near the this courtyard where they do kind of drill and things like that. It's near the Dusk District, but it's not dangerously near. And it's a very small room with a bedroll on the bottom, on the floor, but she has all of her stuff is always packed away, and so it's very easy to pick up. And on the side, you see her lift up her pack, and kind of dangling on the side of it is this strange little bell, but it doesn't have a clapper in it. It's just kind of just dangling there on the side of the bag. and she on the side you see just a lot of different gear. You see a crowbar. You see just tons of stuff. It rises kind of above her head, and she looks to you all and walks by you and continues walking towards wherever it is that we would get the mission.
The place she would go would be the Crimson Tower, which is the main headquarters of the Blood Guard here. It's a tower that's actually situated on the wall, so it's a functional guard tower that can be used in the event of sieges outside of the walls. And it's constructed out of this red mortared brick, which gives it its name. And there are banners of gold and crimson fluttering from it. So you move through the streets, you probably pass through Accordance Square again, and you see that the flooding has stopped. They've managed to plug up the holes, the ruptured pipes, and they're starting to clear away the rubble. All of the bodies have been taken away. And Accordance Day, I mean, the people aren't jovially walking around anymore. Most of the stalls have closed. Most of the booths have closed. People are leaving Falhast in droves. You see hundreds of people waiting to leave through the front gate, being admitted out by the Blood Guard. You see that people are getting agitated. Why are you searching us? Why are you not letting us through? And the Blood Guard are trying to explain that we're trying to detain people who may have been involved in the attack. We're trying to not let those people out. And so what has started as a very exciting, jovial, joyous day, this 20th anniversary of the Provokers prevailing, has turned into a very dour, very... The air is heavy with this tension. And you can tell that everyone is just expecting another attack at any moment. You move through the square, and the Crimson Tower stretches up into the sky in front of you, one of many, many towers here in Falhast, which gives it its name, the City of 1,000 Spires. You move past guards who are standing outside wearing that blood-red leather armor, holding spears and crossbows. You pass through some different rooms. The tension is high here. The conversation is hushed as people talk about what's been happening. And Holly, as you lead them up the stairs into the captain's quarters, you see a large half-orc man wearing the same crimson armor as you, leaving the captain's quarters. And as he sees you, his face breaks into a sneer, and he says,
Rast, heard you're getting reassigned.
Yeah, can't wait. Word gets around, huh?
Always does. Good luck on the new post.
As he says post, she probably flinches because of the smell of his breath. Oh, I will.
this half-orc, you know him quite well, Holly. He's sort of been in your craw since you joined the Blood Guard. Always 2 steps in front of you. He's capable of some minor magic, which has allowed him to rise quickly in the ranks of the Blood Guard. What is this half-orc's name?
Can it be, and it's okay if the answer is no. For some reason, the name's escaping me. Can it be the half-orc from season 1? Episode 1?
I think he would probably be off doing
Kaldor's
something
gone.
else. Yeah, Kaldor, no. I think he's off doing something. This guy is not nearly as handsome as Kaldor. He's pretty freaking ugly.
This guy's... people call him Baron, but she knows his real name is Barris.
Very cool. So Baron shoulders past you and then kind of looks at your companions and says,
I see you're keeping the same friends. Good luck, Rast. See you around.
And as Baron walks out, there's a moment of silence, and then Holly says, yeah, I bet you're surprised to see friends. Friends. I have friends. You don't have friends. Good.
And Edric big, goodbye, big ugly man. Just kind of turn to get ready to walk into the office.
Holly, you lead them into the captain's office, and you see Task standing there, and he's standing with an old man, someone that you don't think you've ever seen before. He's dressed kind of oddly in very simple but well-maintained clothes, leather armor. He has a cloak around his shoulders. And the two of them are sort of standing by the window talking in hushed tones. And as you enter and the door creaks behind you, both Task and this old man turn. The old man has a long beard and his head is shaved. And Task says, "Oh, rest. Please have a seat. Your friends have a seat as well. We need to talk."
And she does so.
What about the rest of you?
I would absolutely be seated.
I'd sit next to Sandy.
I would just sit anywhere.
There's enough chairs and things like that in here to seat everybody. And Tax steps out from behind his desk, and the old man that he was speaking with remains by the window, just kind of silently watching. And Task says, "Multiple reports say that the four of you were actively involved in the attack on the square today, that you faced off against seemingly the leader of the drudges who initiated the attack. I need you to tell me everything that you saw. I need you to tell me what sort of magic allowed him to do this, and I want you to tell me what he said to you, if anything. It's very important that you are honest with me, as it will only aid the city of Falhast in apprehending this dangerous, dangerous man."
I think Holly would look to Edric and say something along the lines of, "Well, kid, now it's your time to shine."
Well, sir, and Edric begins to kind of stand up, kind of like get into attention position. Well, sir, we was alls walking, and suddenly this great big man, who was one of them Gavolt fellers, well, he was by the Provoker statue, and well, what happened? Oh, well, he did something to the statue, and then people started attacking from everywhere. And we try to fight him off. And Mr. Kristoff here, he helped me because I owed him a drink. And then Miss Rast over there, she was taking Mr. Sander, and then they fought. They didn't fight with each other. They fought with the big man, and then I killed someone. I felt very bad about it too. And then after I killed someone, then Mr. Kristoff, he run, and then he stabbed someone, and then I went and helped him, and then I killed another one, and then I hit the really big man, and then some magic happened, and then a big dragon thing appeared, and it was angry, but Mr. Kristoff here, he killed a dragon, and then I hit the big man, and then he did something, and it was all purpley and squiggly, and then he disappeared."
The whole time you're talking, Task is kind of listening very intently and nodding along. And as you finish, he kind of looks at the old man standing by the window, and the old man is just kind of grinning and shaking his head. And Task says, "Right. So, Edric, was it?"
"Yes, sir."
"Did this man say anything to you? Did he communicate to you? Did he in any way say what his goal was in this attack?"
"Oh, yes, sir. He did. He said that he was Casimir Strongsong, and he said he was going to have vengeance. And it got me thinking, like the Provokers stories, that like Una Strongsong, and maybe this feller, he's part of them."
Task again looks at the old man, and the old man just kind of looks at him intently. Task looks back. "What about the rest of you? Anything to add?" Rast?
She shakes her head.
All right, here's the deal. We lost 12 Bloodguard today. 15 more are in hospice. We're going to need every hand we can get, and the 4 of you squared off with this guy. Seemingly drove him off. Rast, I'm offering you a position on this task force to try and find this guy, find his followers. And I'm offering to deputize the 3 of these people who are with you. We pay well. We'll offer you room and board here in Falhas for as long as you want to work. It's good, steady work. You'd be doing something to help the city, and you'd really be helping me out. Rast, you don't have a choice. The 3 of you do.
That's fine, but before they make their choice, I'll let them know. And she turns to face them, and she says, "It is consistent work," and then looks back to Task, but it doesn't pay well.
Pays better than sweeping the streets.
I have no need for coin, but we unscorched. We go where the wind blows us. I feel a wind.
Sure. Wind's blowing you here, that's great.
Mr. Task, right? Is it?
Captain Task, yes.
Captain. I don't feel so windy as Sandy does. I don't know that I have much to add to this. You got this one over here. Look at this guy, solid oak, and he pats, Edric. You got this guy who knows the desert. You got, Rast here, who seems like she can take care of herself. I think that you can save yourself some money. I'm not gonna be of help, I don't think. If we're all done here,
He used the magic, right? And she looks to both Sander and Edric.
Magic. And again, Task looks to the old man, and the old man kind of eyes you curiously, Kristoff, kind of intrigued. What sort of magic? You a magicer?
My family is. I dabble.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I don't really like magic. I understand what it does. I know how powerful it is. And my family, they treat it in a certain way. They treat it traditionally. And I was raised to respect it and to care about it. But the only thing I've seen magic do is make people fight. And it makes them fight stronger and harder. You know what kills around here more than a sword? It's magic. And you know what's worse? You can't trace it. I can't find a bloody blade on the ground. I don't like magic. And this guy, and he points at the old man, he'd be interested to know that the magic that this Casimir was using wasn't natural magic. There's something off about it. I could feel it.
The old man by the window speaks for the first time. Arcane. Was it arcane?
Yeah, but it was ugly. All right, here's the whole of it. Go on.
What color was it? The magic, did it have a color? A consistent color?
Yeah. It did. And you already know what color it was.
Purple with red lightning?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The man kind of nods to Task. Task says, It is important that you help us here. Christoph, was it? You're the only one who has described the magic to us. You're the only one who seems to know that there's something off about it. I think your knowledge and expertise would be integral to the operation. If you turn away, you lose no respect of mine. I'm not offering you glory or riches here, but I'm offering you the chance to stay in Falhast free of charge and do something to help. You've obviously come here for a reason. I can make that reason easier for you to get.
How about I stick around till dinner, and we'll talk about it.
Till dinner. Sure. Rast, do you understand what I'm asking you for to do?
I understand, Captain.
Fortunately, I don't have many leads for you. I would maybe start by questioning the drudges who are holed up in the Dusk District. As violent as the attack today was, I'm not someone who is convinced that drudges as a majority were at fault here. It seems to be a violent, vocal minority. If you can get through to the drudges that are simply trying to live here in Falhast and acquire their citizenship peacefully, perhaps we can find a way to this Casimir strong song.
And what if they don't tell us what we want to know?
Then we look elsewhere. No stone unturned. They're not leaving Falhast without us knowing about it. Something tells me they don't want to anyway. Something tells me this Casimir strong song is going to strike again. So he'll stick around. He sort of looks to the old man by the window. Yes, Edric.
Yes, Captain, sir. If I'm to work for Fallast, could maybe somebody tell me my surgeon that I'm going to be working with Fallast for a bit, if in case they're looking for me.
I will create a writ for you to bring to your sergeant. But it is up to him to decide if you're absolved of your duties with Aldemir for the time being.
Yes, sir. All right, sir.
He looks to the old man standing by the window, and the old man comes forward. Today is Accordance Day. Something tells me you four have a bigger role to play here in what's happening in Falhast and what's happening in the greater world. It is a time of great change. 20 years ago, well, the Provokers, they did what no one else could. I was there to see it, and it was a sight to behold. But the Provokers are not here today. You four are. My name is Emery Shersteel, and I want to help you. If you'll have me. I will guide you on your path and see to it that you have everything you need to do your job.
You were there. You were there on the first, well, the first Accordance Day.
I was. I fought on the walls with you, Ollie. Although that was quite some time ago. I am not surprised you do not recognize me. Quite a bit older than I was.
Edric is just sitting there with his jaw pretty much resting on his lap, just listening to stories about the famed one-armed swordsman this warrior who was seen fighting like alongside the Provokers, just powerful, taking out, even fighting all the way up to the very corruptor himself. And Edric's not, what you would call a super genius, but even he put kind of 2 and 2 together, and he's just sitting there stunned, just like, I am talking to someone who has actually fought alongside my heroes, my icons, legends, and just I've got nothing, absolutely nothing.
Emery kind of looks at you, Edric, and says, "Oh, you know me."
And he starts patting down Kling's armor. "Oh, yeah, you're Emery Suresteel. You're the powerful one that aided the Provokers and fought with them with, well, one-handed all the way up to the corruptor himself. Wow." I'm Edric Meadows. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
He reaches out with one good arm, and you see as the cloak shifts that he doesn't have his left arm, and he takes your hand and he kind of looks at Tasks with an amused smile and says, "Well, this is a first. I don't have a statue in the square."
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
He
Holly says.
He kind of looks at Holly and says, "Still working on that chip, I see."
Well, sir, you're still a big part of them, and they probably never would have gotten to where they've gotten without you.
I don't know about that, but I appreciate the sentiment at least. In any case, I am liaison to the convocation here in Falhast. I am an ambassador of sorts. I have an invested interest in what's happening here in Falhast, and I believe that there are dark magics at work. I think that my expertise can be of use. I can't fight anymore, but whenever you need help, whenever you need knowledge, I will be here.
It would be a great honor to be a part of anything of which you are a part. I've heard great things.
Oh, you've heard of me too. What an exciting day this is.
Don't worry about it, man. I've never heard of you.
Oh, good. A sane person. I'm pleased to see it.
But it's good to meet you. I'm Christoph.
You as well, Christoph. He reaches out with his good arm. And Task kind of says, "Well, you all have a job to do. I suggest you get to it." And that is where we will end our first session of Provokers Bleakwrath.
Awesome. That was a blast.
Oh,
Thanks,
man.
so awesome.
I'm so
God,
glad
that's so
Emery's back.
He came in second on the poll, so I felt like you know what? I'm going to throw Emery in there.
Like, I'm just gonna throw them all in there.
I'm just going to put them all in there.
Little did people know the poll was just the order in which you see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I do. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the session. We're doing a new thing during this campaign. It's called Twists of Fate. It's inspired by the awesome community involvement that happens over at the Star Wars Tides of Change role-playing club on Facebook. They do this really cool thing where halfway through a session, they take a break and the viewers get to vote on some different options that may or may not happen during the session. We're doing something a little bit different where about a week or 2 weeks before each session, I'm going to put a Google survey out there for people to vote on different things. So, for instance, for this first session, it was like, which NPC is going to appear? Which weapon will the main villain wield? What were some of the other things? Oh, what monster will these new Provokers fight? The Drake won by, I think, like 2 votes. So different things like that. So you can actually affect this campaign, and I'm excited going forward because we're going to have questions that are a little bit more personal to the characters and things like that. So I think it's going to be really fun. So definitely check out the Fistful of Dice Facebook page to get updated on the Twists of Fate stuff. So I had a blast, guys. That was so much fun. I feel like I'm home again right now. I feel like this is D&D home for me, and that was so much fun. You guys absolutely killed it. You killed it, man. It feels awesome.
That was a blast.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you, Matt.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Good to
guys.
be back in the saddle.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
back in the shadow. That's right. And we
And
had
Mike with the Edric Meadows fan favorite character.
dude. Everyone is freaking out about Edric Meadows in the
I'm
chat.
freaking out.
Yeah.
True story. Everyone's been saying it, and yes, that's true. I did voice every single NPC in Fable, both Fable 1 and Fable 2.
So
My personal favorite was, oh, a ranger. Oh, sounds like a nice outdoorsy sort of name. That's true story.
Mike, can you do me a favor? I want you in Edric's voice to say, "Oh, that's Chicken Chaser. It is."
Oh, it's Chicken Chaser, it is.
Oh my god! I just
Did not
went all the
disappoint.
way back to Fable 1. That is amazing.
God.
So good.
Blast.
Damn.
So I'm gonna throw it over to these guys to do their outros, and then we will leave all of you. But we will be back again. We're not taking a break this time. We're gonna be back hopefully next month. So, starting from my left to right, Barker, go ahead and do your outro, man.
My outro is I just wing it every time. I am tired. I am super exhausted. Got a big day tomorrow, but what a perfect way to wrap up the weekend with some Provokers, returning Provokers. I'm doing a lot of stuff with the Be a Better Game Master Facebook page, so check me out at facebook.com/beabettergamemaster. Be a Better Facebook/fruitrollup.com. Also, I am 1/4 of Absolute Tabletop, so be sure to go to AbTab. You have 5 days left of absolute creativity, where you can go to the Absolute Tabletop Facebook page, check out our Google form there, write 200 words, creative words based on a map we give you, and then you get a free supplement for AbsoluteTabletop.com, just a free PDF. So, yeah, definitely do that. We got 5 more days, and thanks everybody for joining us. This was a blast. This was super awesome. I really am enjoying this.
Awesome, Mike. Go ahead.
This has been the fastest time ever. I've never, like, it flew by. Suddenly it's like, yeah, we're gonna take a break. Why? It's only been, oh my god, it's been 2 hours. I've had so much fun. This has just been so wonderful, and I'm so stoked to play the next session. It's this is such a beautiful world. And I got to say, you know, I'm no quarter or eighth or 16th of Absolute Tabletop. But go onto the Facebook page if you haven't already. Go check them out. Check out Tabletop Terrors and WASD 20 and a fistful of dice.
Check out Mike the
all those things.
Piper. Check out Mike the Piper. Everybody go to Mike the Piper right now and
Mikey the
subscribe to Mike the Piper, because the dude runs a great game.
There's a link in the description for you to go subscribe right now.
Link in the description. Go sub to Mike.
But but needless to say, actually, even more importantly, above everything else, please go check out brigadecon.org, because it is tabletop gaming to help sick children, and it is the best thing ever. Don't even subscribe to me. Just go check out brigadecon.org and sign up and play some games for kids. Play some games for sick kids. I know, it's like screw you. Shut up, Mike. Okay, I'm done now. Thank you.
Mike is Edric in real life without the accent.
That's very true. That's very true. No, 6'5" though.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. And now a person who's really closing on 6'5", Nate. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, my name is Nate, and it was just a blast playing Sander Denara with all these other fine characters, and I can't wait for more. You can find me on YouTube at WASD20, WASD20.net, or sellswordmaps.com. And yeah, what a great time. Tim!
You're up, Timbo.
So if you love Erenoth, I'm going to mirror what Barker was saying. Go to absolutetabletop.com, because you can play an Erenoth at your home table by buying some of the books that we put out set here in Erenoth. And so if you want to start injecting that into your home game, that's the best way to do it. Keep an eye out, because in the next month or so, next couple of months here, we're going to be coming out with the Stone Rift supplement, which covers the dwarves of Erenoth, which I am so pumped about. There are so many cool little bells and whistles in that book that even if you don't need dwarves for your game, you could use the fluff to put all kinds of things like other games, lore about deities. There's so many things to reskin in there and be inspired by. It'll blow your mind. So thank you all for watching. like Mike was saying, just scroll down on the video and please subscribe to these guys. You can subscribe to us too. No one's going to be mad. But just follow the links. Boom, boom, boom. Because if you're looking for inspiration, Barker's so inspirational. Obviously, you're here for Matt. He's super inspirational. Mike, inspirational. Nate, inspirational. That's why I watch these guys. Because when I'm having a bad day, I put on one of their videos, and I'm not having a bad day anymore. And that's not so easy to find on the internet these days. So thanks for watching.
Awesome. Thank you guys, and thank you everyone for watching. This has been an absolute blast. We super appreciate you guys checking it out, watching, and sharing it around. I saw a ton of people on Facebook today sharing the link to the video around, and that's great. We will be back very soon with Session 2 of Provokers Bleakwrath. I hope you have enjoyed this game, and as always, may your pizzas be hot and ready.